Gather round, we got no gods to please. Saturday night, no sermons, just ease. Discussions flow like midnight breeze. No prophets here, just minds to tease. We talk big bangs and evolution. Question faith with our solution. Stars align in our confusion. Breaking free from old illusion. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers. Open hearts and swift deceivers. Make a stand, no hidden levers. Raise your glass to reason's thrill. No ancient text, it's our own will. Debate till dawn, feel the chill. Saturday night, we've got the skill. Echoes of a godless choir. Like the world, we spark the fire. Free our mindset to inspire. No holy walls to take us higher. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers.
Yeah, we is. Hello, welcome to Saturday Night at the Atheists. Joining me is Mr. Scott Duke and Miss Robin Webster. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Scott informed me that Mike is off, I believe, hiking, checking out the Great White North, and so he probably won't be with us this evening, but Mike's always with us in spirit, and we hope Mike's having a good time wherever he's at.
Yep.
Simos, we will see. He likes to be fashionably late. Yep, speak of the devil. Mr. Fashionably late himself.
The devil. Oh,
Simon just wants to guarantee he's on the bottom of the panel.
he's even wearing red.
Yeah. So, hello everybody in the chat. Hello, Fred and Ed and Chris. And nice to see everybody here this evening joining us. We got, like I told you guys last week, I'm on a new chemo. We'll do a health update real quick. Nothing much to say other than they doing me a new thing, and it's at the beginning of the week and not the end of the week. So my butt was kicked all week. I did feel a lot better last night after I took a piece of gummy. Kind of evened me out. All the new pills, the steroids, blah, 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 blah. New drugs, new side effects, and it comes with an injection. So the day after, you go back and you get an injection too. So my body was all loaded up with stuff this week, and my face kind of fat and broke out, and I was really feeling the steroids this week. But I'm still here. Another week of Saturday Night at the Atheists. Another week the Reaper's not saying hello, and another office visit that they're putting me off months and months, and I was like, well, you expect me to come back, so they don't expect to lose me anytime too soon. So you're gonna have to put up with my ass critiquing silly videos, mostly silly videos, like 100 questions for atheists. So we're going to check in with everybody. How's everybody doing? Simos, Scott, Robin, how's everybody doing?
I'm great, yeah, I'm good.
Good?
Difficult week for me, myself, and I, but no, I'm good. Mainly to do with the house. The people upstairs had a boiler problem, and they flooded their boiler room, which leaked then through the roof or through my ceiling. So okay, great. I went up there thinking, what the hell's going on? Like somebody's left a tap going or something like that. And guy answered the door in absolute panic.
Hey, Dave, you might want to turn up Simos's sound a little bit. It's awfully quiet.
Simos needs to just fix his mouthpiece.
There we go. I'm fixed.
Okay.
There you go.
Very
I'm
good.
fixed. Thank you very much for that, Scott. Anyway, yeah. So I've had to be drying out my boiler room, and there's that. But apart from that, yeah, it's been okay. Okay.
Robin, how's the wing doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I was trying to figure out what is a boiler room. Why do you have a boiler room in your house? I don't understand.
For the heat.
For the boiler.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I have a furnace. I don't know what it.
Yeah, now doesn't that heat up steam or something, and it goes to your radiator, and your radiator is what?
Kind of, yeah.
Up your room? Okay.
It's where we keep all the gerbils.
Okay. I'm doing good. Yes. But I have not had any kind of trouble like that. Either one of them. My sub pump quit this morning. It was like pumping dry, but I'm sure it's just probably got a piece of trash in it. So just may work on it. But a lot better week than you and Dave have had for sure.
I was just sleepy all week. I just.
Yeah.
They give you so many things, and your body just doesn't know what to do with them all, and it's and then they're giving me a bunch of pills to counter the side effects, so I don't have side effects from the medication they're giving me, because it's bombarding all kinds of things, and your body just really just wants to rest. I mean, it doesn't want to. It doesn't feel like fighting it, and they tell you to rest, get some exercise too, but to rest and let it do its thing. But let me tell you, it gets hard to rest. I mean, you can only rest so much. You think you could rest a lot, but resting has its drawbacks. You get restless legs, and you just want to do something, and laying down just doesn't cut it, as Simos has attested to.
Absolutely. I've been sleeping a lot as well. I guess it might be the heat. We've now hit summer here, and maybe it's the heat that's making me so tired all the time. And then I go to lay in bed, and then eventually have to get up because I can't rest anymore. And then I just think, and then I'm awake for about 2 hours, and then I start getting tired again. And so but you do what
Scott?
you do.
Scott, how you feeling these days?
We're all old.
I'm feeling pretty good these days. I've got aches and pains in my bones and joints and stuff. But I have this one knob on a joint in my finger that I can just see growing every year because I guess I'm getting arthritis or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've been doing good. I got to spend a lot of time with the grandkids this week, and they were pretty tolerable. I mean, pretty. Sometimes they're just kind of wild and come at me all at the same time with, their neediness, which they're going to be needy. But, when you get hit, machine gun fashion like that, it can be overwhelming. But no, they were pretty pleasant, pretty chill. They loved their gramps, and I got to play with them and everything, and that was a great week.
Yeah, people in the chat, Robin says, we sound like a group of old people. We are old people.
Hey,
We've been around the block a few times. We've heard it a few times, and that's
we
why
had the block land on us a few times.
Everybody's in there telling their aches and pains, and
we kind of with all the injuries and illnesses lately, it just kind of became part of the show that we update everybody on how everybody's doing, and let everybody know that we all have different things to deal with. And
Fred wants to ask the question: do the pills to counter the side effects have side effects?
Oh yeah,
the stupid pills
have side effects.
Steroids are one of the worst. They really mess you up. They're good for you and they're bad for you. The doctor wants to put you right away on steroids to fix you, but then wants to get you off of them as soon as possible, because keeping you on them is not good. So it's yeah. I just went. They've got me on I've been on about a month, and they want 2 months. So in another month, I'm supposed to get tapered back. But that's that's 2 months of steroids, and you're kind of wiggy and wobbly, and it's like I was discussing with Scott earlier. You don't like to be wobbly because you don't know if you're dizzy or not. If you're going to hurt yourself or not.
Yeah. Right, so I found that as well. Sometimes I get up a little too quick, and I'm like, I just need to hold on to something till I can get my brain sorted out.
I do that on purpose.
I've been on steroids for about now since last November. So, 6-7 months now I've been on steroids.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't
It's painful. It's painful.
Have they cut you back?
Yeah, they did. I think they started me on the smallest dose they could anyway.
Okay.
And I've gone down 0.5 milligram since then.
Hey, Big John, how you doing? And El Caxil, 1971. That's a good year.
I'd like to make a prediction.
Go ahead.
We will not get through 100 questions.
Oh yeah. Well, this video is just for fun. It's been around. Some people have addressed it already. A lot of the questions.
Make a part 3 or 4 of this.
I think I've seen this one, and believe me, if it is the one I think it is, there aren't 100 questions.
No,
it's just a lot of repeats.
I was going to say we're lucky to get through 8 usually.
I've already got dibs on 4. I think Ed said 4.
Hi, Sydney.
Hi, Sydney. How you doing?
While we were waiting to start the show, I did a little query with Copilot as well as ChatGPT about what are the 3 best questions that have been asked by Christians of atheists. Give me the question and the source, and they were just old run of the mill crap, that we've gone over and over and over. So,
certainty exists says, can atheists name anything objectively true and epistemically justified?
I think they meant epistemologically. I'd say you go first.
No, go ahead, ladies first.
Yes, yeah. Certainty, go ahead. No, I'm talking about certainty exists.
No, certainty.
Go first.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you name something like that?
Yeah, certainty will not have an actual conversation. Certainty
is,
you almost want to think he's a puppet or a bot or something, because he does not interact. So
anything that's
ignore him.
Anything that's from God's lips is subjective by nature anyways. So if God can just say something, then God can just change its mind. So there is nothing.
I don't know what
truly objective
means anyway. Objective.
Well,
objective is more or less always.
Is that more true than if it's just true?
Right.
No, I think we could probably say something like.
Hi, Dade. How you doing?
say my brain, and we could justify that epistemologically by saying I think. It's objectively true I have a brain, and I justify that by saying I think.
There you go.
Right.
Challenge met.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
No, I want to see them do it.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's that's
yeah. There we
thing.
go. Cal's just said the same thing as I was thinking. Yeah.
A god or a religious text even. Well, Dade reading the books. He reads one way and reads the other way. It goes both ways. So it is subjective. It can't be objective. I don't see any objectiveness to it when you can change the page or just read it differently. Hey Joe, how you doing? Make sure we got Joe in the chat here. Make sure you check out Joe's channel and updates for the Ark Encounter. I've got them in the description below, so check that stuff out. Also check out other folks' links to go to their channels. We got Simos up over 500 finally. Simos is still holding.
Yeah. I went to 501 and back down to 500. But I'm pleased still. I'm very pleased still.
That's a good number. That's a good number.
Yeah, just certainty exists as you've just proved that. Thank you. Yeah, well, there are at least two answers. So
yeah, got more of our attention.
It's true because it's true. I don't think that's what I said. No, I gave you a syllogism. So if you want to just go back and quote the syllogism, then that would be great. Thank you, Kentucky. Yeah, I appreciate that. 500 is a marker for me.
Joe's doing good over there too. He's had a couple shows during the week. Make sure you turn into the Kentucky Atheists, and Joe's heading up the Ark protest this year. It's going to be the week after the holiday, I guess. He's got a lineup already set up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to travel this year, but I was there last year, and Joe's a good guy. Everything needs to be handled. You get a hold of Joe. He's got a specific thing on Discord under the Kentucky Atheist. You'll find out information about the protest, and I'm sure any other info that goes along with it. Okay? You can also volunteer. There's going to be a fundraiser. All kinds of good things going on with the Kentucky Atheists this year, protesting Ken Ham and his mostly, he gets tax breaks, and I was reading about one of them is just going to expire, and then he's not going to have something, or Dan was just writing some about it. He's got all these deals going on, and it's so slimy, I mean, any way to beat the tax man,
It's definitely slimy, especially when your taxes are going in it.
Yeah, and all the money that goes in and out of that place, and Joe's doing was it Spoiled Ham during the week or something, and
him and Jess.
Him and Jess rag on Ken Ham, and it's one of my favorite things to do is because he is a true slimer. He's takes advantage of all the tax loopholes and everything to be as cheap as possible. And,
they said it was so hot in Kentucky last year, I was almost convinced it was indeed hell.
Yeah. We were
always
hot.
that hot in July, Dave. It's not just last year. It will be that hot again this year too.
We were hot. They had it timed pretty good. I mean, just about the time they were wrapping things up was the time that we all had enough, because it definitely was. And those poor guys that like Chris and Joe and everybody that showed up to sit up early, they had that much more time out in the sun.
Yeah, it was hot. Joe was about ready to collapse. He come back to the thing. He was just like just overheated.
Yeah.
Tons of mice said, "Is this the year they flood Kentucky and see if the ark floats?" They've already did that and it didn't. It got water damage and had to turn in an insurance claim. So
Yeah, that a sprinkler system would have been nice.
my third wife is a hottie all year round.
And tons of mice in his third wife, let me tell you.
But speaking of tons of mice, after tonight, after this is over, Robert from the Skeptic Philosophy is going to be on Neil 604 Atheist tonight.
Okay.
So everybody go over there and check out Robert and Neil, and I'm sure tons of mice will be there too. He always is.
Sweet. I was going to say, there's always stuff to watch Saturday nights. That's why I try to duck out of here early so everybody can go enjoy all the shows, because there's a lot of Saturday evening shows that are good shows to check out. So
I've never actually heard Robert's deconversion story either, and I'm pretty good friends with him, but like I just never have really. I mean, I know that he was like in seminary or going to be something. He was doing some sort of.
He's soft spoken.
Yeah, he's a wise person, very wise.
So, looking around and hello Dave, hello John, how you doing? Dave, my dude. All right. Snada is the best though. Thank you very much. Yeah, Dade, we was hot. And there's no getting around it. We were hot. Of course, we wish everybody well this year. Like I said, I don't think I'll be able to make the trip this year, but I'm glad I did go last year and met a lot of great people there. And hopefully it goes off without any problems again this time around. And it's going to be the 10th anniversary. Hard to believe the place has been open for 10 years already. Taking people for their money and walking them through the boat-shaped building. But I don't knock a guy for making a buck. This is America. And if you're going to fork over your money,
I remember
there's not much we can do about it. It's the pseudoscience and the tax breaks. Go ahead, Scott.
I remember first time I heard there was going to be an art park, sitting at my desk just rolling my eyeballs like I was going through a seizure or something.
Yeah.
I've just been rolling my eyeballs ever since.
Yeah, me too.
Pop out of my head one of these days from all that eyeball rolling.
Okay, well, we're gonna pop on the questions here, and like I say, these things are just silly, most of them, and 100. We question if there's 100 of them. This thing's been around for a while. I saw several people have addressed it over the years. It's not a new video or anything. So we're just going to take a look at the questions and throw some answers out there and see if we agree or not, and have a little fun with it. It's called 100 Questions for Atheists. You get like 6 seconds or something. I slowed it down a little bit to answer each question. So here we go. So we got packed in there a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, question 1. Why don't you believe in God? Anybody?
I remember that old commercial, they used to do for Reese's peanut butter cups or something like, two people would collide. One of them was a detective looking into the accident of the person with the peanut butter running into the person with the chocolate. And they just determined something that was chocolatey peanut butter deliciousness, but they couldn't arrest anybody for the crime due to lack of evidence because they ate it all. So that's my answer is lack of evidence. The evidence provided as support for belief in God just doesn't add up. Therefore, I don't believe it. So please provide some good evidence, not anything that can be either refuted or at least doesn't lead you to need to believe in a God. You can believe in more probable alternative explanations. So there's just no evidence out there that would make me conclude there's a God.
Right. I don't believe in God for the same reason I don't believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in the Easter Bunny. Like, after I finally got grown and started looking at stuff and realizing, I stopped believing in invisible magical beings.
Yeah, I've reached the point where if there is a God, that it's just like a deistic God or something where he just sits back and watches, because the universe is still going to play out as it plays out. So God or no God, it doesn't really seem to make any difference. So I'm losing interest in that argument for a God, because I'll grant it to you, but it doesn't seem to do anything. So. All right, we go to number 2. Where is your evidence that God doesn't exist? Well, I think you pretty much said that it hasn't been presented, right? So present the evidence.
Where is your evidence that God doesn't exist? Oh, right. My word. That old chestnut. I guess I would give the evidence that God doesn't exist as something along the lines of, you would need to define God better than that in order to make this question really make sense. But let's just be charitable, say, and we could say something like, that even the deist, if you're looking for an explanation as to the most basic job of God, right, being a creator, then I'm guessing the deist God would be a good example. And if we want to disprove the deist God, we could reason using a deductive argument that it's epistemically generous to include variables which aren't necessary. So in other words, we could use something like Occam's razor to say, like, we could, for whatever properties we want to give God, we could give to the stage before that and say the universe. Right? So, well, with the exception of saying pantheism, then I think we can say that all of those gods don't exist on that basis. That's evidence. It's not proof. Right? So it basically, what I'm saying here is that the proposition God doesn't exist is more likely, right, under naturalism, because it doesn't include the extra variable of God. It's as simple as that, really. But again, that doesn't prove God doesn't exist necessarily, but it does increase the probability that proposition is correct.
Okay.
You could say it that way.
Scott, Robin?
What evidence do I need that the tooth fairy doesn't exist? What evidence do I need that the Santa of the Claus does not exist? What evidence do I need that leprechauns don't exist? You got to give me a reason to pursue that query.
Yeah, it's the dragon in my garage dilemma. That at what point do you say there's no dragon in the garage?
And even though God, whomever or whatever that may be, is given a lot of credence by other people, that doesn't mean that you've given me a real reason to look for evidence of a God. And when people try to, once again, the evidence doesn't take me that way.
And just because we don't believe in the God does not make us clowns.
Yeah, well, I could be wrong. I have to be able to admit that I could be wrong, and somebody else could be right. But you have to demonstrate it. There has to be something indicating a supernatural realm, other than wishful thinking, which the downtrodden have always, especially needed that. That's something to hold on to, right? Sure, I can see its place and everything, but realistically, it doesn't change anything. Good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people, and it's just the way it is. And if God exists, that it's merely a spectator. So it doesn't exist. I say it doesn't exist per sitting in a chair with binoculars, writing things on a scroll, whatever. No, that doesn't exist.
My response also, I guess, would be, well, if you want to pursue that question, that's fine. But you don't have to. You don't have to spend your life worrying about things that might exist in the absence of clear evidence other than folk tales.
Yeah, what would evidence of something that doesn't exist even look like? It's like, I mean, somebody didn't think that question all the way out.
Yeah, what do you want that hasn't been examined already, right?
I mean, if something doesn't exist, what would evidence of it look like? So lack of evidence. I guess that's it.
Yeah, we're still stuck on a lack of evidence. Okay. Why do you hate God? Well, if you're asking an atheist, by definition, like with me, I really don't care, or a true atheist just doesn't believe there is a God. So why would you hate it? It's kind of a backwards question. That you don't hate something you don't believe in, right?
No.
Do you hate Santa Claus, right?
I hate Darth Vader. I don't hate Darth Vader.
Right.
That's a question designed kind of like the "Do you still beat your wife?" question. It's just it's right up where it's leading. It assumes something. Maybe an honest interlocutor would say, "Do you feel hatred towards God?" And then you can say, "Well, no, I don't feel hatred towards God."
Because I may have when I believed in him.
So what?
But I may have when I believed in him.
Yeah, we broke up.
Yeah.
But I don't. It was an amicable breakup. Basically, I need the things that are going to be a part of my life to exist.
I love it. That's
and
good.
I'm sorry. I just can no longer go with an entity that does not exist.
There you go.
And hey, Spooky, how you doing?
Hi, Spooky.
Could you join us? Addressed to atheists, why do you hate God is a bogus question, because you're addressing people that don't accept God already, or really care. I've reached. It doesn't really make a difference. So we don't hate him. We do hate some of the things that are carried out in its name. Atrocities against people and people groups, other religions and stuff. Those things you can hate without actually hating the imaginary being in the book. So,
hello, Kelly.
This old helmet. How you doing? I hate when the beliefs do to people. Yeah, that's right. Detroit Atheist Queen, how you doing? Good to see you. It's not the book or the
Scott, you're typing.
Do you hear me typing?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
No, darn it. I'm sorry. I mean,
That's all right. That's all right.
I'm kind of
Okay.
pumped by a question somebody asked in the chat.
I know. I know it's
Oh.
good. They're engaging. I'm doing the
Okay.
same as well.
No
I
problem.
hope I'm not making you take Tylenol or whatever y'all call Tylenol.
He's doing a psychological evaluation on all of us.
That's all right.
Okay.
Okay, so question 3: why do I hate God? I don't. God doesn't exist. It's made up. It's fairyland. It's fiction. I don't hate God. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
There you go.
Okay.
Anybody else got an answer? I mean, it's kind of a pointless question, but we're gonna hit as many as we can. We're almost gonna do number 4, and Ed said we'd only get through 4 of them. So,
Hey, somebody, I think it was the Sean person in the side chat, asked the question, why do
Mike.
I absolutely believe 100% in God, or something like that in the side chat? I want to recommend a book, because I think what he or she is describing is a neurological thing, psychological thing. A book I read long ago by a Dr. Robert A. Burton is called On Being Certain, Believing You Are Right Even When You're Not. And it's a good book to read about the idea of certainty. I believe for sure, I'm 100% sure God exists, or I'm 100% sure UFOs are real, or something like that. You can look into that topic, and that's a good place to start.
The thing about being wrong is it feels exactly like being right. Like you can't tell the difference until you find out you were wrong. But while you're believing when you're wrong, you feel like you're right. And Travis has a real good thing that says certainty almost certainly is unattainable.
We've got Detroit
We got
Atheist
some people in
Queen.
here. Yeah.
And we've got Dade Murphy that have been members for mucho months, and we appreciate you very much, because around here, we all...
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
We do love our toast. Gets us by. All forms, all sizes. I saw Mike in the chat. Hello, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. I just have to say something quickly, which is certainty. If you want me to answer questions, if you can @ me in the side chat rather than just use my first name, because I need to concentrate on the show a little more. I'll be happy to answer your questions, but just use the @ marker. Thank you, mate. No, I wasn't asking. I'm asking.
So,
that's right.
All right.
Likewise with Sean, if you want me to answer anything, just I may as well just get this out of the way, because this will come up in the questions as well. I know you know that he's real, okay? But of course, knowing is a state of mind, right? So I can't know inside, right? I know you say you know. I can't know that you know, and that's the issue, really. And I don't, and I've said I don't know, or I'm an atheist, whichever you prefer. I know that there is no God. And that I just put down to my personal, my subjective mind and the experiences I've had in life that have led me to this conclusion. Right? So there are many experiences I've had, like dealing with arguments for the existence, contemplating the existence of things which are ethereal, immaterial, what that means. And so those are the kinds of things that I would point to, is to say that that's the chief reasons why I do not believe there is a God, or why I believe there is no God. So yeah, these are the differences. It's the difference of the experiences we've had in our life and how we've met those experiences and reasoned through them, which is both a component of ourselves and our experiences. And that's about as honest as I could be, since you do seem to be a very honest interlocutor. I'm going to be as honest as I can backwards. Scott, you're still typing without putting yourself on mic.
I should probably mute you, shouldn't I?
And,
mute me.
Why can't I hear him typing?
I can hear him typing, yeah.
Are you wearing headphones, Robin?
I am,
No,
yes.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah, maybe he's just better, what is it called? Better signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's how it's picking it up.
making any statement, right, is going to be subjective, basically because I'm speaking. Google.
Yeah, I can.
And if
I
I
can.
speak,
I can click on the button.
I'm going to be using my mind. But that's under one definition of subjectivism, which is, mind dependent, right? There is another, which is stance dependent, and that was the earlier one that I was using. I've kind of switched between the two. When I'm talking to Sean, I'm talking more mind dependent, and when I was talking to you earlier, I was talking stance independent or stance dependent.
Detroit Atheist Queen is seeing Simos on camera for the first time. Looks just like it.
Thank you.
First time I saw him, I was like, Simos, yeah. Icarus says, question 3 to atheists or to theists. Why do you hate facts? Yeah, truly. The interesting questions, aren't they?
Dave said, "Isn't he handsome?" And I was getting ready to say that. I said, "Really, Kelly? Like, isn't he good looking?" Yes. Almost.
I don't feel it, but thank you so much. I appreciate the validation.
There you go.
Simos is our rock star.
That's right. Okay, well, there you go. Question 3: Why do we hate God? We don't hate God. All right. Number 4. Ed said we want to call on 4, and it's.
That's what I say. We made it to 4.
We got plenty of time to get to number. Okay, here we go.
What the hell is the music? What the hell is the music about?
I turned it down a little bit. And,
yeah, good job. I mean, I love that music. I can't remember who it's by exactly, but 1812 Overture, isn't it? By Tchaikovsky, yeah.
Something like that. And I didn't
really
want to play a lot of it, and I changed the speed, and I screwed with it a little bit. So
good piece of music.
But a bunch of people were playing it, so I figured if I just stopped it each question, we're not going to have a problem. We'll stick.
Okay, so question 4 here: do you believe in Jesus of Nazareth?
No, that's not what it says.
The existence of Jesus of Nazareth. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, does it say Nazareth anywhere?
Oh, I'm just paraphrasing because, he could be Jesus for all I fucking know. It's just that none of these questions seem particularly well written. But
how you doing?
I'm trying to do my best. I'm just trying to do my best to be charitable.
How you doing, Ape? Good to see you, Kevin.
You want to make sure we we're talking about Jesus, the poor boy, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, there seems to be somebody that was a troublemaker that was gathered around that became Jesus. Whether it was one or multiple people, it seems like they did have a martyr in Jesus. I would say that the evidence leans that there was somebody that had a following. And it grew from there. It has to start with somebody, right? And the stories about the martyrdom and everything, that's where you enter your faith and everything, where you rose from the grave and all that kind of stuff. But as far as being a martyr for a cause, speaking out, I'll grant you the existence of Jesus. How's that?
Yeah, that's good. I would say half. I believe in half of Jesus, the 100% human half, not the 100% God half. I don't believe in the 100% God half.
Okay.
Could maybe just say something I think Jesus I don't know. Like, I'm beginning to see the mythicist side a little more. I don't believe that Jesus exists anymore, though. Even if he did, he does not exist at this time. And like Sean said something, I told him it wasn't a call-in show, and I just want to say, Sean, I'm sure Simos or Dave, probably depending on how Dave's feeling, or Scott, somebody would be happy to schedule like a conversation with you another time.
Yeah, we're happy to have discussions. Hello, native atheist.
Icarus says Simos believes in the 100% half. Yeah, that was deliberately worded that way.
Sean O'Connor, who's the English guy talking? That's Simos.
Hello.
Hey, I speak English.
Yeah,
I
we're all
speak
speaking
American.
Of a
English.
sort.
American.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simos gives us a different perspective on things. Resist the oppression. Hello, how you doing?
English puts a S on math, and American puts just math. But English says maths.
Yeah. There is an S in mathematics, rather, I should say.
So, well, we got Dade says the historical Jesus would have been nothing more than a human being, and therefore is dead, never to live again. Yeah.
I'm going
Martyrs
to
were aplenty back in the day. They were hanging them up everywhere.
I'm going to plagiarize Dade Murphy's answer because that would be mine. I believe there was a guy, and a lot, maybe some of the Jesus of the Gospels was based on that guy, but I don't believe that he's alive any longer in any sense. Just like my parents aren't alive any longer; they're nowhere, you know. And I think at the end we'll all be nowhere. So make the most of this life that you have and the time that is left.
Oh, hey,
Objective
Owen.
Ethics, how you doing?
Good to see you.
We're here another week, man. We're here another week.
Good to see. Yeah, no, look, the reason I put it that way, 100%, the half the 100%, is just to point out the illogicality or the, I don't know, the unsound reasoning that Christians use to justify the Trinity, that's all. Just pointing out the Trinity may not be true. Anyway,
So you're saying it is possible that the Trinity is not true?
Logically possible, yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's also logically possible that it's true.
That's true.
Doesn't say much for logical possibility, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Anyway, look, whatever. I'm just, it's not an interesting question, right? I don't find the mythicist question particularly interesting.
So can a logical contradiction be logically true? I mean, logically possible?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I think under some forms of logic, yes.
Okay.
Right.
Like
So
fuzzy logic, what they call fuzzy logic or something
yeah,
like that.
dialetheism.
I think that to me that just kind of sounds like weed and wine logic.
Well, I mean,
Fuzzy.
it's more like it doesn't say it can't be. You know, you can't have true contradictions, I guess. Or it's not even that. It's saying that true contradictions could exist, and they give the things like the liar's paradox as an example.
Okay, so I guess we just haven't. We don't say that the laws of identity can't be violated. We just haven't got any examples of it, right?
Yeah, all the examples we have are not proof of it necessarily. Right? The examples that we have, such as this statement is false, you know, just is indeterminate. So, but it's certainly not, you know, A equals A, right? So
Yeah.
But I don't, you know, I'm no, you know, super logician, that's for sure. I'm only repeating what I've heard other people say, I guess. So. I'm not sure myself, but
And you're
it's certainly in classical logic. In classical logic, it is not possible to have a contradiction. Logically possible to have a contradiction.
Okay.
That's part of the definition, you know. So, there's no justification for it.
So we got question 4 is, do you believe in the existence of Jesus? Well, doesn't really matter. It seems to be the consensus, right? You're going to have Christianity with or without the story of Jesus, whether it's made up or not. That whole faith thing kind of you put your faith in the story, then there you go.
If he lived, he died a long time ago.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we'll grant you an existence of Jesus.
Yeah, again, another ill-formed question. If you meant Jesus the God, then no. If you mean Jesus the man,
Ed wants to know if we're going to hit number 5.
Yeah,
See?
he's like
Look at
really
this.
excited.
I don't see 100, but I see 5. Yeah.
What about faith, Ed? Do you have faith in it? Like we see
Is
you
there
have
faith
hope.
in a 5?
He
Does
says he has
5
hope.
exist?
I'm just wondering if he has faith in this.
Did you summon a 5? If no, where is your evidence that Jesus didn't exist? Well,
here we go.
I think we pretty much granted you a Jesus, so
yeah. I mean, if you were to be a mythicist, I guess the mythicist would say, again, lack of evidence that there is any such person. There's no contemporary evidences or writings that Jesus did exist. All the writings come later. The closest we get to Jesus, the more ethereal the claims become. Paul, for instance, the first writer afterwards, claims that he saw Jesus through hallucination. Or heard him, I should say, didn't see him, but heard him through hallucination. And that's the first person that wrote after Jesus. And then some years later you get the Gospels, which claim to speaking to eyewitnesses. But that's just hearsay. So, those are some of the reasons why people might take the mythicist view. There's also such things as the gospel writings themselves, which appear to be somewhat fictional stories due to the particular inconsistencies between them. Also, some mythicists I know rely on things like previous examples of the way gods were depicted are exactly the way Jesus is depicted. None of the miracles are unique to Jesus, all existed before him. There are no claims that Jesus through the Gospels made which aren't predated, at least in some way, by either Jewish literature or Babylonian or Egyptian literature. So it's difficult to say that any particular idea of Jesus is original, which I think would be which is what you would expect, given the claims that he's in fact a god himself. So those are just some of the ideas that are being put forward that I've heard. I don't think they're particularly compelling as such.
We got Ryan agreeing with us for 10 months now. Ryan, around on here.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
And Dade Murphy,
Woo!
dropping the captive desk membership. Simos.
Oh, look at these names. Okay, Objective Ethics, welcome to the club, sir. I want to see some emojis down below. I really want to see those emojis. Native Atheist, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Kevin, Trusty, thank you so much, and welcome to the club. Resist Oppression. Dr. Nothing 23. Here we go. Master Blaster as well. Look at these names we're getting here. Ignia. I like that. Kentucky Boy 22. Greg Sanich 5183. Rose Red 427. Tons of Mice, another name black from a long time ago there. Let's all see everybody use the emojis now so we can get some extra engagement. That would be great.
And of course, Dade Murphy, thank you very much.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Dave Murphy, you rock. Thank you, sir. It was great meeting you, by the way. That was the best
someone
parts of when they have these conferences and stuff. That people get to meet folks and stuff from the YouTubes, and that was pretty neat. So I'm glad I went last year.
Okay, Sean is asking, did Einstein eventually admit that the universe had a start? He did, didn't he? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. The prevailing wind in science or consensus was that it was eternal before Einstein. I think once they worked out, and as such, he put in the cosmological content or constant. But I do think that it's irrelevant whether he did think that or not think that. Most of his external work to relativity and quantum mechanics has been, apart from those two groups, have been superseded anyway by further science down the road. So, and as yet, I don't think there's an answer to it, conclusive answer. The consensus is probably not, but I don't know.
I asked Copilot that question, and after giving me a bunch of caveats, it basically says Einstein accepted cosmic expansion, which strongly implies a beginning, but he did not explicitly endorse Lemaitre's primeval atom from the early Big Bang model. He acknowledged that the universe was not eternal in its past form, but he remained cautious about metaphysical interpretations.
And we've learned a lot since Einstein, I think, haven't we?
Yeah.
That was kind of my understanding, that he was kind of even in changing his mind, he was cautious enough to put a caveat in for future science.
Dave.
Hello, Dave, Ryan. How you doing?
Sean,
hey, Ryan.
Sean
good to see
said
you.
he wears a cochlear implant, and so maybe warn him next time before you play that.
Scott.
I'm sorry. I've actually been trying to mute.
Yeah, you've been doing a good job, but I'll keep reminding you. Don't worry.
Yeah. So this 5 kind of goes along with 4. It doesn't. If you disavowed, okay, or granted, whatever you want to say about a Jesus, it doesn't really matter. Then 5 doesn't really matter either. So, I'll spot you, Jesus. There you go.
I don't think people are speculating that the universe started with helium and hydrogen particles. By the way, so is that Hypatia Stanhope?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's not the thing. I mean, I think it's more down to quarks, etc. Maybe something that pre-existed quarks. I don't know. I don't know though. I mean, it depends on which you. It depends which model of. Which model of how the singularity came to be you take it to be the one. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Simon, it's 4 light years to our nearest star. I wasn't planning on visiting soon, but fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, Azzo, how you doing? Good to see you, man.
Virgins don't have children, so virgins don't have babies.
Oh.
They don't give birth.
They
probably can now because of IVF, but at the time, there was no IVF. So.
One thing I'd like
let's go to number 6. Here we go.
Okay.
Break a record. So why do you hate Jesus?
That's the same answer for God, because Jesus is God apparently. So let's go to number 7.
Yeah, we don't hate Jesus. Have you ever read the Bible? Yes. Very hard to follow.
Some of it.
I so wish I had read it earlier. I would have not wasted near as many years believing in God.
I've read the entire Bible through and through a couple of times in English, and parts of it in Hebrew and parts of it in Greek. So, yes, I have read the Bible.
Scott's our Bible man.
Well, I'm rusty, but I'm still interested in the Bible. I kind of like to know the things that are true about things, and I feel like I'm having to relearn a lot. Like, what's true about what's in the Bible? What value can we get out of knowing the Bible? And I enjoy going that way. If you don't enjoy going that way, don't worry about it. There's all sorts of great literature where you can learn values and ethics and virtue and things like that. But the Bible might be a great first start if you are interested in history and the things that have affected our culture. So, yes, I've read the Bible. Don't hate the Bible either. Is you going to ask that question?
Look, Sean said Darth Vader came from immaculate conception too. See, like imaginary beings can do lots of stuff.
I'm messing my hair.
As much as you can imagine.
Aslo wants to know if I'm going to wear a special hat. And so far I've kept my hair. So let's fingers crossed I even keep my hair.
We need to write Stevie Ray Vaughan a letter and see if he will send Dave a bandana.
Yeah.
And if he does send Dave a bandana, I want to hear about that.
You don't think we won't?
It's going to fall out of my chin too. So I've been paying attention and I haven't seen anything. So knock on wood, the side effects are minimal. We'll see.
Could you ask him for a guitar at the same time, please?
Well, this does not
And
be
a guitar.
dreamy, Simos.
But yeah, I've had my head shaved before. Don't feel bad if I do lose my hair. It just is a pain growing it out to have it, start over again. Okay, you be in solidarity. You go bald. All right. Thanks, Dave.
Yes, Sean, you can ask a question. Just go ahead. Just make sure you're at me. So I can see.
Okay, I've shaved
number 8.
my head, so it's
Let's
not a
move
big
them on.
deal.
We got 100 of these things to get through. Come
I
on
know,
now.
I'm never going to get through them.
Yeah,
We'll
my
see,
predict-
we'll
hey,
see.
I will be a prophet.
They're going to be a lot of repeats, so we don't have to answer quite a few of them.
Do you believe people have souls?
Depends
what-
by a soul.
Yeah, it depends what you mean. I
May
like putting on music and you just feel something. And is it your soul? Well, yeah, it's music touches so many things and smells and the sights and sounds of life can trigger things that seem to affect your soul. Is it really your soul, or is it just the overwhelming of all the memories and the good times and stuff like that? It's hard to differentiate, but yeah, by the definition of a soul, yeah, I like to put on a good tune once in a while and just soothe my soul. Yes. So
I've played soul music, so does that mean I'm a soul man? I'm a soul man.
Yes.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I have 2 souls.
Ah, very good, very good.
Well, my answer is that I think you can use the word soul, since you can't really say it's I don't know how you can say it's true that a soul exists in any sense of the word other than metaphorical. So poetically. So yeah, I've got a soul poetically, especially when good music or a lovely person that I'm attracted to, gives and gets my attention. So yeah, you can say a soul exists. I felt that down to my soul. I was shaking through to my soul. But when you're asking, is there like a dualism about the human existence? Part of it is body, and the other half is soul or spirit. Some people try to make a difference between soul and spirit. I don't know. I don't think that there's much of a difference. They're pretty much interchangeable. But there's just, no, I don't believe people have that. But don't we use a lot of words that used to seem to have meaning, but then we realize, no, that doesn't really, like race doesn't really have a biological meaning at all anymore. Used to, but we used to think it was biologically significant, but now we know it's not. So are you going to stop using the word race? Maybe not. I don't know.
Even before that, it had a different meaning. Even before that,
Yeah.
right? So you know.
So,
But anyway, look, souls. I'm not a dualist. I don't believe there is an immaterial type of substance that exists, because I think that's a straight-out contradiction. So when you say, in the Christian sense of a soul which goes to heaven, obviously I don't believe that. Atheist, I don't believe there is a heaven. So anyway, there we go. Number 9.
if not, why do you hate souls?
Where's your evidence?
Go ahead.
I just gave it, right? Immaterial substance is a contradiction as
It's
far as I'm
always
concerned.
resistance.
Because of my prior presuppositions, I guess you'd say, but yeah, to me,
your
it's a
presupposition
nonsense.
doesn't make it true.
It's nonsense that it's a nonsense that there is such a thing, another type of substance that science can't, that interacts with the universe, but science can't investigate. Those two things don't seem to be compatible or coherent. So I don't see why we should have any reason to exist, to expect that there is such a thing. Right, there we go.
My answer would be just like before with the other types of not believing in kind of questions is I don't see evidence for a soul, so I really don't have a belief in the soul. Don't need evidence for something that doesn't exist. So it's just, you don't need that proposition. You don't need that hypothesis. So I don't clutter my vocabulary with it.
Number 10. We're a tenth of the way. Do you reject all gods or just a Christian God? Well, God is God. I mean, if you're going to define it as a supernatural being, then yeah, I reject it.
Yes, I reject all gods. Yeah. Anything worth the name.
Scott?
Reject.
Number one, I'm not typing if that's what you're insinuating.
No, just asking. Does it apply to all gods or just to Christian gods?
I reject. I don't see evidence for any of what we would. I don't want to say classically because that's a word that's used a lot. What we traditionally consider gods or what most people consider gods. No, I don't see any reason to believe in them. And not just the Christian God. I don't believe in Allah. I don't believe in. Was it something Mazda, Uhuru Mazda? Was that the Zoroastrian god? But I don't believe in that one. So pretty much all gods. There might be some being out there in the universe that can manipulate energy and matter in such a way that we would have traditionally interpreted them as gods, but wouldn't, Zoroastrianism, or Mazda. Even if we encountered such a being like that, who could appear and disappear, make water turn to wine or whatever, would we say immediately, oh, this is a god? Or would we say, hey, this person is in possession of some sort of technology I'm not familiar with? What would your reactions be, panel and side chat? Would you go to a god or would you go to an advanced technology as an answer?
I believe in no God.
I wouldn't.
No
I wouldn't
gods.
go to. I wouldn't go to a god. Yeah, that's for sure. It depends what your definition is, though, isn't it? I mean, if you describe advanced technology as God, then whatever. But it doesn't mean anything at that point. Same. I feel the same way about pantheism. It just doesn't mean anything to say the universe is God.
I think I'm under the belief that if you believe in one God, you should believe in all of them, because I think that they all have pretty much at the same, relatively same amount of evidence, and so I don't know how you can ever like pick one that
Yeah.
you think
If
is
you
better.
open, if you're open to the supernatural, then you should be open to the supernatural.
Because
Right.
because you're just like your chances of picking the right one are absolutely ridiculously low, because right now the Christian God is like 2/3 of the humans on earth don't even believe in Jesus, or Christianity. So, and then you look back all through history at all the different other religions that have been there and all the different gods. So, like, your chances are very low that you believe in the correct God, if there is one. So.
Yeah, and then there's a kind of a gradient of gods as well, because most religions or most cultures that had a pantheon of gods, multiple gods, you also had critters and beings that were godlike, were kind of half god, half human, or half god, half animal. And I guess you'd have to believe in them too.
Yes, yes.
At least open. At least
I
open to
posted.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, I posted Simos's channel link in earlier in chat, so it should be, if you scroll up some, it should be up there somewhere. If you can't
Yeah.
find it,
You can find Simos and Robin and Answers in Atheism. All the links are in the description below. And while you're down there, hit the like and the share button and all them good kind of things. If you want to join the channel, you want a gift membership like Dave Murphy just did earlier, you can hit the join button down there. 99 cents helps keep the channel going. And you get the full video as well as links to Joe's channel, who's heading up the ARC protest, and Bre's merchandise, a good friend of the channel. If you're going to get a shirt, might as well get a Bigfoot shirt. Might as well get a Bigfoot shirt, and they're real comfy. And so we'll help out wherever we can down there. And make sure you check out the description. Best around, everybody should be down in there. And you get a hold of them, especially with getting Simos up over 500 where he deserves to be. And we got a bunch of people in Geo in the chat, and Sean. How y'all doing? So, do you reject all gods or just the Christians? Well, God, if it's God and it has powers, just reject it. There you go. I'm good at number 11. How about that?
We're cracking on.
I think I started out the show way too pessimistic. Way too pessimistic.
You forgot.
Why do you care so much about what other people believe? People believe in all kinds of things. What am I going to do about it? I can present my side, and they can present their side. That's about it. People believe in a lot of things. Doing the cryptic stories, and tune in with Bre on Saturday mornings, and the stuff she digs up. And people believe in all kinds of things. And what can be demonstrated, they all kind of rank similarly to one another, that there's little to no evidence. And sadly, a lot of things are the bad part of people that we want to hide away from society or whatever and pretend it doesn't exist. There's some awful things that happen in the world, and that's their answer for them. But there's also the good times. So why do you care so much about what other people believe? I don't. If you're a good person, you're helping out your fellow man and all that kind of good stuff. It's really hard to complain about, right? Panel, anybody? I mean, if somebody's a good person, are you ragging on them? You know?
I don't care what people believe, but the thing about it is they insist that we believe it, and they insist that we follow the rules of their belief.
Right.
Like they take away women's bodily autonomy. They put gay and children through deconversion therapy. They deny trans children medical care. They burnt people for being witches. They've and then they fight with other people over their gods, like, because of my God is real and you're so there's like right now we've got 3 of the same Abrahamic death cult. They're all fighting each other over there in the Middle East. So that's why I care what they believe.
Question 11 kind of assumes that all atheists are alike in their beliefs and attitudes. There are atheists out there who just don't give a crap about what other people believe. But probably they don't want those beliefs forced on them up to a certain degree. So I think the whole thing is there are places where you can go where you can talk about things, like aren't there threads somewhere where you can talk about who could beat who in a superhero battle? Could the Thing beat the Incredible Hulk in a battle? Who would win? How are they equipped to win? How did they how would they do in a foot race? Who would be able to run further? Silly things. But if you're in a post, or in a thread where that's the discussion, you discuss it, and you might enjoy that. And there are some people who just very passionately get into their comic book topics. Same thing with other people's beliefs. You're going to have a range of concern and care about it. I don't care as long as it doesn't interfere with my life, but I really don't want to pay taxes that are going to go on and support laws which have been passed, which restrict my ability to be free and assertive in this world. For instance, the current administration is building a group, which I don't even think is really an agency of the federal government at all, where they are going to suggest policy about what to do with people who are persecuting Christians and making them feel bad in this country. I don't want my tax money to go to support that.
Right.
I want my tax money to go to create a pretty much secular world, which lets atheist, lets Christians Christian, and no one group is going to have power over the other. That's what I want. So that's kind of why I care about what people believe. Is I want to be able to see them coming if they're going to try to have a theocracy instead of a democratic kind of republic like we are supposed to have according to the Constitution.
Allegedly, Fred from Down Under sends 20 and says, "I don't care what you believe. I care what you
Fred,
do."
you can always say it in fewer
with
words.
That belief.
Are you bragging?
Yeah,
that's right.
He's going to play music.
He's got we got, of course we got, let's see, we'll play one of the other ones here. Get some of the other play times in. How about some Bigfoot with some toast?
Bigfoot on toast, toast is good.
Allegedly, Fred, you rock on, man.
You know, that video kind of implies that Bigfoot is only about an inch tall.
It's a very big piece of toast. How do you know that?
Man, every time I go on the AI thing, they got all this news stuff and everything. It's impossible to keep up with it all. And gee whiz, it's just incredible. There's so many templates you can use now, and the stuff just crazy. Hello, Claude. How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, let me have a quick crack at this anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what Azio, was it Azio that said it? I can't remember. But necessarily, but I think belief is the root of it. So I'm going to take this charitably and just say, look, I care about what others people believe because I'm a humanist, right? I believe that all humans should have equal rights and be treated equally and fairly in the way you would want to be treated yourself if you were treating yourself. I kind of believe that a Rousean disposition is a good thing to consider when thinking about morals, and that's why I care so much about what other people believe. I want a healthy society to live in. I want a society where it's okay to have kids grow up and get experiences from not just their parents but the society around them, and they can do that safely without being disabused of the goodness in the world, which is what is required in order to be treating other people the right way or in a good manner. So that's kind of why I think it's important. I think humanism is important to try and break down the barriers between people in different tribes.
Somebody said that it didn't play, so just to make sure.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Hey, listen. Hey, let's try to maybe Dave try to warn Sean next time. He said he's got his phone hooked up to his cochlear ear implant.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, mate.
We'll give you a headphone warning.
It's something we do on this show. It's a common thing we do on this show is to play.
My thing's going to jam out.
Yeah. It's all good. Just maybe he knows to turn it down.
Turn me down a little bit. Objective Ethics dropping the super chat.
Oh my! There you go.
For the 5-0, respect for nature, respect for others, and self-respect are the bricks we use to build the road that leads us to the good life we all want to live. Be kind to others and be kind to yourself.
Music warning for Sean out there. Music warning. Turn it down now.
Yeah, turn it down now. Let's see what we need.
And yes, I would completely. Although
you rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Thank you, Objective Ethics.
Yeah, and
that's very generous. Yeah,
very generous, and I'm going to play an extra one for you. Let's see, because I had a rough week this week, so we're going to play this one for all of us that had to see the doctor and deal with all the bull crap of getting old. And so we're going to play this one, and this one goes out to your well-worded chat there, Objective Ethics.
Captive Desk is back, everybody! Rocking out with Bigfoot once again! had your chance, but you couldn't take. Dave!
Rock on.
That was cool. That was cool.
I'm here another week, man. We all plan on being here another week after that. So thank you, objective ethics. You rock, and thanks for supporting the channel. And John, how you doing? Good to see you. If I'm missing anybody. I don't know why I'm getting spammed. And hey, there's Tori. Tori checking in on me. How you doing, Tori? Always appreciate you. This old helmet. My friend is currently on a Bigfoot hunt in Georgia. The guide charged $200 per person. He always seems to find evidence. Yeah, well, good for him.
Fun time had by all.
Yeah, there's a lot of Bigfoot spotting, especially in Ohio. So
Yeah.
we'll see what's going on.
Gets you out in nature as well. Never a bad thing.
Yeah, so far they aren't bothering anybody. So
No, absolutely.
I used to believe in Bigfoot.
well, if there's going to be a big furry teddy bear running around, I mean, there could be worse things to believe in, right?
I used to believe in a lot of stuff.
Well, I'd like a lot of things to be true. It would be an interesting world where things, monsters appeared in your yard or something, or trees morphed into different things, or I don't know. It'd be an interesting world, but it just doesn't seem to. It doesn't happen. Things are as they are. So it makes you very pessimistic, I guess. Even though I'm optimistic that things could be different, they don't seem to be. So believe what you want to believe. I often say the old saying, salt of the earth, right? People just want to get up, do their thing, live their lives, not bother anybody, help your neighbor change a flat tire, and move on, right? So who cares what they believe? They're not bothering anybody. The problem always seems to be you get a group going, and then somebody in the group wants the power or the money, and they take advantage of the group, and then there's a lot of problems. So, and of course, we can argue denominations and everything else that splinter off from all the things and who's right and who's wrong. There's a lot of complications to that too. So, do I care what people believe? It's a general question. It depends what they're doing with it, right? So, yeah. Small groups, people having bake sales, rummage sales, things like that for the church. You can't badmouth these people. They're trying to do good things, but I don't see why you have to have it under the guise of religion. But Bigfoot probably has small feet. Could be. So, we care so much about what other people believe. I don't really care, but I do care. That's a tough. I don't know. Simos, do you care or not care?
What do I care? Sorry.
Why do you care so much about
Oh
what
yeah,
other
I've
people
answered that
believe?
already. Yeah, I answered that. I'm a humanist. That's
Yeah.
why.
So that's a dud. Number 12.
Oh,
What the
you went
fuck is
past
up,
12 there, mate.
I'm seeing
guys?
13.
Whoops.
Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Simos, Scott, Robin, Dave, good to see
Hey,
you all.
Austin.
Hello, Austin.
You are being asked some questions. I love that. You know, asking questions is how you get unmindfucked by religion. You ask some questions, and then you bravely and curiously pursue the answers, and then
I don't know
start to
what's up with your
realize
mic, Austin,
all
but
the oh
something's
no,
not right. Something's not right.
right?
I think Austin and his phone are in the hot tub.
Yeah, it sounds like you're
You're,
underwater, yeah.
you're, you're echoing or
Yeah.
something.
Well, let me see if I can get that fixed.
So, question 12. May I provide my response while I'm thinking about it?
Yeah,
Please
go
do.
ahead.
I get my sense of right and wrong like I think everybody else does from mommy and daddy, brother and sister, and then your teachers and even your classmates at school as you grow up. And then at some point, hopefully, as an adult or a young teenager, you start asking questions about morality and develop your own sense of morality or your own sense of right and wrong, and then act on that, and then perhaps even advocate for things that you see are going wrong out there in your society and work to correct them. But I think that's how everybody does it. And then we get into philosophy about what is the nature of morality and things like that. But as far as developing a sense of right and wrong, that's, to me, that's how it happens.
Okay. I think where do you get your sense of right and wrong? I mean, this could be interpreted several different ways. I'm just going to go to a grounding type thing. I think it's grounded in the digestion system, and that is our feelings of disgust. So that's where they have evolved from. In other animals, they have a strong sense of what is good to eat and what is bad to eat, and they have a disgust for smells which are bad to eat. And that disgust smell is what humans have developed and evolved with to become our moral sense, which is that of moving away from things that are immoral, or at least feeling a revulsion at immorality. So that tends to be my thing.
Is that
We
better?
agree more. I think we agree more on what is immoral than what we do think is moral. Let's put it that way. So that's.
Well,
about
of course,
it.
I think if we don't think something is wrong, we don't really care if somebody does it, you know. So if people have a sense of what's right, that's great. Go do what you think's right. But if I start seeing people do harm to others based on what they think is right, then of course you have that whole duty to speak up and correct it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that is downstream of what I'm talking about, particularly.
Right,
I think you covered perfectly well what the how humans interpret the question. I'm just saying that I think that has existed long before us. It seems to be in primates, at least anyway, if not most mammals. Anything really with any social species really has the same basis, I think, and I think it comes from, as I say, or has evolved from our survival, right? Our instinct for not eating things which are going to kill us.
Does that sound better, or do I still
etc.
sound bad?
Oh yeah, you're fine now. That's great. Thank
There
you.
you go.
Thank you.
Much better.
Good. Yeah, no, I think it definitely evolved. I don't know if the Simos's model is exactly how it happened. I can see precursors in the behavior of social animals like pack hunting. Bees and ants have pretty advanced social behavior. And in social species, morality is a survival benefit because you don't piss off your tribe, you don't piss off your group and get kicked out and then lose access to all the resources that in-group grants you, which in human prehistory, like, that's pretty much a death sentence. If you got kicked out of the tribe, you were going to starve.
Yeah. So where you get your right or wrong from? Well, your environment, right? People you raise you a certain way, right and wrong, and the golden rule applies across religions. Don't do to other people what you don't want done to you. You don't want to be harmed. You don't want to be stolen from. You don't want to be abused. Whatever it might be, then don't do it to your fellow man. It's a tough one to beat. So
He's got 100 questions like this.
yeah,
most
we're
of
not
them are
doing very
repeats.
good.
Most of them are repeats. Don't
Well,
worry.
what I'm wondering is, are these supposed to be questions that are just pointed at atheists? Because the Christian answer to this question is so much worse.
It's 100 questions for atheists. That's what it's called. So
Yeah. You could turn right around and ask a Christian, is it a good thing to eat a baby? If God tells you it's a good thing to eat a baby, does that make eating a baby a good thing? If so, is it good because God says it is, or does God say it's good because it's good? It's a mess.
You're not looking for too highbrow, are you? I mean,
no, fair enough.
God would never.
I just think
tell
it's
me
funny
to do that
that
thing you're hypothetically asking.
This is not new. This is not new. It's been around the internet. Some other people have addressed it.
Yeah,
I just thought I would take a look at it too.
I think it's funny how frequently they argue against subjective morality when they have a subjective morality. They just think their subjective morality comes from God.
Right.
Yeah. And also, just to point out, Austin, a lot of these questions are at best poorly worded. So it's a matter of interpretation, how you want to read the question. I'm trying to do it in a very general way so we get through more questions.
Fair enough. We'll see.
But, just be charitable.
We're doing a lot better than 4.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. What evidence would persuade you that God exists? Anything supernatural that occurred. I mean, if things just happen supernaturally, where I don't know, things fall on people and they don't get harmed. Something supernatural, an intervening factor. But it seems like whatever the accident is, it has to follow the laws of physics, which takes me back to what God is doing, other than just watching.
I think I have a good answer to this question. So I don't know exactly what data point would make me be like, oh, God is real. But I can think about like potential universes where it would be reasonable to believe in God. I can even come up with a hypothetical universe where it's insane to not believe in God, right? So if you imagine a universe where every constellation in the sky, every bacterial cell, every piece of wood, every object in the universe has the words "made by God" written on it in every language, that would be a universe where it would be kind of crazy to not believe in God. A universe where it might be rational to believe in God would be like a universe where God has prophets in the world. I can go find these prophets and I ask them a question. I ask them to make a prophecy, and their prophecies are always right. Is somebody going to visit me next Thursday? They say, no, nobody visits me. Am I going to have a good day on Monday? They say, you're going to have a great day. I have the best day ever, right? Like that would be an example of a universe where it's rational to believe in God. So what would convince me is probably somewhere between that. But we live in a universe where it's very clear that there are no prophets of God that make perfect prophecies. There is no message in the sky in every constellation saying made by God. If something says made by God on it in the universe we're in, it's because a human made it that way. So in terms of what would convince me that God exists, evidence, basically, and I can kind of even imagine what the shape of that evidence might be. But then the problem is the follow-up. Look at the universe we're in, and it looks like a universe where no God exists.
You know, I think when questions like this are asked, we need to ask, before we answer, we need to ask, well, what would you consider evidence? Because if I said something like, hey, you know, in the last 10 years, all those children and people who had their limbs blown off, you know, by a military or terrorist organization, what if tomorrow they all just had their legs back, their arms back, or whatever else they lost returned? What about those hospitals that were blown up by somebody's military or terrorist organization? What if they all just like in the morning, you wake up and those hospitals have returned, you know, just out of nowhere? Maybe, you know, doing some good in the world and being just outlandishly no explanation for them. Maybe that would make me start thinking about the existence of a God. But right now, like Austin said, we don't live in that kind of world. And if we say such things, if we make such requests to these hypothetical questions, we are poo-pooed and dismissed by the very Christians that asked for what evidence we would persuade us, because that's often seen as being you just can't expect that. You're not being honest atheist because you want limbs to grow back and you want hospitals and schools and homes to suddenly appear out of nowhere. But you know, that might do it for a lot of people. It would do a great good to see that kind of thing. But no, that would be tempting God or some other excuse.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, this is a few points here to make, which is evidence is just something that makes the proposition more likely. Persuade, though, at minimum is sufficient, but I'm not sure sufficient is good enough. So, or at least the standard of sufficiency here is going to be very, very high, given that you know it's a hell of a thesis you're putting forward. So I would imagine there should be a hell of a lot of evidence. So saying those two things, I think we could probably put the bar quite high. In which case, I don't think personal revelation is a high enough bar. However, if I think everybody on the planet was given revelation about and deep meaning for what God was, what He wanted, and how things were going to be, the expectations that such a being would have for such lowly creatures as ourselves, if all of that was revealed to everybody on the planet at the same time, and many, many people started testifying to that exactly the same point in many different languages, then I think that would probably persuade me that God existed. It needn't necessarily, it could be the Matrix, there could be other explanations for it, but I think that is a sufficiently high enough standard for me personally that it would persuade me that a God exists, and then there would be other questions like should we worship the God, etc., and that would depend, of course, upon the personal revelation that I had, and how much it agreed with other people's revelations. And then on top of that, I may want more than one revelation for everybody on the planet. I may think about having several revelations over several months, and then people reporting exactly at the same time again, saying, "Yep, I had it now. Yes, that I definitely got that one." And that might be good enough. That might be good enough, sufficient at least to argue that a God exists, and maybe that it's necessary. I don't know.
Another factor that complicates this and weakens this question, makes it not as strong as the theists think it is they're asking what evidence would persuade me that their prescriptive definition of God exists, is basically what they're asking. I already have evidence that a descriptive definition of God exists, and that God is a fictional character that was created by humans in prehistory. So the evidence that convinces me of that are things like cave paintings, totems, all the archaeological evidence that supports the cognitive social model of religion would be the evidence that persuades me that the one God that exists is a fictional character created by humans. So it depends on what God you're asking about.
Well, that's why I included the bit about the God giving us revelation of what He is and what He intends and what we are expected to do.
Right.
But that's fine. That's all good. I think you're right. It has to be taken account of. Let me just write a note here about Sean, just so I do remember that I need to get a thing going tomorrow. If anybody wants to join that.
Why are you against the idea of faith? Again, depends on your definition of faith. We have faith in a lot of things because they've been tested and demonstrated and proven to hold your butt up when you sit on it, right? Then you have faith that you're going to defy gravity or defy death or any of these things that step away from the realm of being the same testable ideas of faith in something. So
I object to it on ethical grounds. You can have faith in all kinds of shit that ends up hurting you or somebody else. Oh, I have faith that I don't need to check with the air traffic controllers before I land this plane full of people. I have faith that I don't need to go get vaccinated. I have faith in my immune system. Faith is irrational. Faith fails to stand up to your basic moral and ethical duties when it comes to epistemic hygiene and good belief maintenance. It goes all the way back to Kingdon Clifford and his ship analogy. The shipwright has faith that his ship has made this trip before, and so he doesn't do all that costly, exhausting maintenance, and he just sends it out to water, and it fails, and everybody drowns on board, and he's responsible. He's responsible because he had faith instead of being curious, instead of having evidence, instead of trusting but verifying. So I object to faith on ethical grounds, and it's really not that hard to do. Pretty much everybody should.
I second whatever Austin said there. Yes.
Well, see, faith can also be kind of a synonym for a supernatural worldview, where gods exist and angels exist. And of course, I don't like that idea because I don't see any evidence for it. Faith, as in interpreted as trust, well, I have faith in certain people in this world that they won't disappoint me or betray me. And sometimes that has proven to be unwarranted, but other times not, So I'm not against the idea of faith, but I'm against the idea of the faith that Christianity wants me to have, which is people rising from the dead, miracles like the crossing of the splitting of the Red Sea, and things like that. I don't subscribe to that. I'm not against the idea of it, but that kind of world does not exist.
why do you attack Christians? I don't attack anybody. If it's mistaken as an attack, it's only a response to something. You're going to hell. It's your hell. You can go there. You know, it's comments like that. When you're younger, you can attack things. Can be a little more cocky. As I've gotten older, I don't really attack things. I just try to understand. You know, how can you believe in nonsense, and while still accepting that faith has been around for a long time and it isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So, kind of deal with it.
I don't attack Christians. I attack science deniers. It's not my fault that so many of them happen to be fucking Christians. Work on that. Fix that shit. That's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm dealing with the fallout of the you problem, but that's really more your responsibility than me. You should be the one giving these science-denying Christians the so desperately needed intervention that they should get. But you won't do it for some reason, so I have to. Step up.
There you go.
I think a lot of people feel attacked when you criticize their position on things. Do you believe in a resurrection? No, there's no evidence of such a thing happening ever. I feel attacked. I'm gonna call the federal government, have them put you up on charges, which is what certain elements of our current administration want to do. If criticism of an idea is considered an attack, then you've got the wrong definition of an attack. If I'm saying you're stupid and you should be killed because you're a Christian, well, yeah, that may be an attack, and I'm against that. But which makes me think that before I answer this question to somebody who's asking it, I need to ask, what do you consider an attack? Give me some examples, because I'm an examples kind of guy. And find out what they're asking, because from this, it's just not sufficient to it's kind of accusatory. You're attacking Christians. Why do you do that? No, I'm not attacking Christians. Now, I have been snarky with certain individuals in side chats and on live streams that have just been, kind of thick-headed, stubborn, evasive, and so have you. But like somebody's name who sounds like Orange Jello, if you know who I mean, I'm snarky with such people. But I'm not attacking them as Christians. I'm attacking them for their behavior.
Right.
If it's even considered an attack. So what's an attack? Yeah, I just don't get what you mean as an attack. But my first response is, I don't attack Christians. My second response is, if you mean criticizing them for their position and what they want to do with that position, that's not an attack either. If you feel attacked, what did I say or do to attack you? Because you feel attacked, you're being attacked. It just means you feel a certain way. So what's going on? So anyway, that's kind of my answer. I don't know if that really directly answered the question.
I've been called, let's see, yesterday I was told by a Christian that I had no morals. I've been called a clown today. Just because I don't believe in their God. So I've never attacked a Christian physically, and I don't attack Christians just because the people, I attack their ideals sometimes. But I am friends with Christians, and there are some of them that I just have to deal with and just not even attack them about it, not even push them at all. Which is kind of sad that we live in a world where people get to believe in just really silly shit and they don't even have to answer for it.
Because, how you doing, Nerdy? Good to see you.
Hi, Nerdy.
No, hey, Nerdy. Why do I attack Christians? Let me just think. Well, I mean, again, about poorly worded question.
Yeah.
Attack. Well, I mean, like Christians have done enough attacking in history. So, what are they
Well-
complaining that they're victims again? Is that it? Is this a victim complex by Christians? I question that. Verbally, though, yeah, like obviously I attack Christian arguments. That's what I do. I don't attack Christians, but I attack their arguments. And I genuinely think that better reasoning is going to be better for society. So that's one of the reasons. And then the other reason is, when we base our actions and beliefs on dogma, I think we do ourselves a disservice. And the only cure that I've ever found for doing that is education and investigation and research, those type of things. So the reason I would say that I attack Christians, inverted commas, or at least their ideas, is because I wish them to enlighten themselves. And I wish that because I'm a humanist and I want the best for society. Right, there we go. Simple as.
Robin pointed out something I missed. I guess I have attacked a couple Christians physically, but it was in a mixed martial arts fight, and they signed papers and agreed to be attacked. So in that case, I did that because it was fun.
And there's a lot of YouTube channels or streams. When you get involved with them, you're inviting attacks. You're consenting to it passively. So you also have to be careful of what environment you put yourself in. If you don't want to feel attacked, if that's your goal, I don't want to feel attacked. But see, a lot of Christians may be invited on themselves because they know that persecution, is a sign of spirituality or something. So maybe they want to feel like they're doing Christ's work. So, they go into environments and drop little things that, will make them feel persecuted. So maybe we don't attack Christians. Maybe Christians feel a persecution complex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is what I just said an attack on Christians?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you,
A
Simon.
brutal attack.
Was that
Just
brutal?
awful. Oh my God.
Well, no more than me saying that they have a victim complex.
Yeah.
It's the same point, really, isn't it? So, like, I kind of said, right, firstly, I attack Christian ideas, but I do attack Christians in the sense that if they feel that they want to base their worldview on dogma, then I feel that that's harmful, and I will attack Christians personally for that, but only verbally. I'd never do it physically.
You're never going to get in the cage and mix it up, Simos?
Not anymore, no. I mean, I may have wished to do that in my 20s at some point, and I certainly had a few rucks in my life. But I certainly had a few rucks in my life, but all for good reasons. They could have been Christians, I don't know. I never stopped to ask. They were just doing shit, which was bad, so I thought, fuck it, get in.
You bring up MMA. Dave, I'm kind of in the back of my mind, kind of wanting one of those Bigfoot videos you do of him in the ring with some other cryptid. Bigfoot versus I don't know what cryptid would go in the ring against Bigfoot. I don't know, but it seems like that would be to do.
Bigfoot versus Nessie.
There you go.
Yeah, Sean's just saying verbally is worse, Simon. I would disagree. Having suffered broken bones, I'd much rather have just been, cursed out than actually had to spend time in hospital. But that's okay. That's okay because, as I say, the caveat I put in there quite strongly is it's whether these ideas are based on dogma. I mean, you can't change somebody's ideas if they're based on dogma, right? They just will not give them up. So that's the reason I feel some personal ridicule and attacks can be worth it. If it can get them to snap out of this view of, I will never change my dogmatic views. Like I say, you want an open mind. Not so open till your mind falls out, but you want an open mind. I think that's a good thing, and if you base your worldview on dogma, then you're never going to have an open mind. So dogma is something you can't change.
there's a certain sweet spot, right? You want to be capable of being convinced, but you don't want to be convinced too easily. If you're completely incapable of being convinced, you're going to end up not believing things that are true. And if you're convinced too easily, you're going to end up believing things that are not true. So there's a sweet spot.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm only against the two. Well, I'm not. I'm against the dogmatic view, where you cannot be convinced, because you will not accept any evidence against the dogma. That's the one I'm really against. You're so open that your mind falls out. Well, I'm going to feel sorry for you, but that has that does actually, you just need to get some education.
I made that point because I think it's a common inappropriate belief that having a more strident epistemology is the same as having a higher quality one. I don't think that's necessarily the case.
No, that's right, and I agree. I did say not so open that your mind falls out, but yeah.
My mom used to say when I was young, she would say, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And I used to really get kind of mad over that. But the older I get, the more I find it's true.
Did you feel attacked by your mother?
Well, I was like, oh, but words can hurt. You know what I mean? And I've been hurt by words, I think. But, I think that once you let people's words, you give them power, then that's when they hurt you. So I've kind of tried to learn to take the power away from the words.
Right. And words, coming from somebody you're in a trusting, loving relationship with, have a different role than when you're in public discourse or when you're having a conversation on a stream or a side chat. So, right place, right time, right attitude, I think is the effect that words can have on us.
Yeah. Okay, number 16.
Here we go.
I love the music.
Same question, isn't it? Why do you
hate
Christians?
That? Yeah, okay. Was it the same question? Why do you hate Christians? We don't hate Christians. We hate the dogma.
I thought my parents are Christians. My sisters are Christian. Almost everybody I love is a Christian. I thought you said Christmas, though. I can't sing very good. I was like, that's the best thing about the whole religion is Christmas.
That's not even, and that isn't even Christian. Yeah.
I hate Christmas because I never can figure out the right present for the right person.
Yeah, it's a nonsense question. It's the same as the other question. So we don't hate Christians. Next.
No, I mean it depends on which Christians again, right? So you could say that if a Christian behaves particularly badly, then I hate that particular person, right? But I don't hate Christians as a group. No.
I was gonna say I definitely hate the fuckers at the Westboro Baptist Church. They can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. There are many examples.
The Christians at Answers in Genesis, the Christians at Creatious Ministries International, they can all go fuck themselves. General Christians, nah, we're cool, man. As long as you're not a piece of shit, I don't hate you. I actually
raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I don't think I hate anybody. I don't hate anybody, and I mean I really, really, really dislike Trump, probably more than anybody else on the planet. But I don't think I hate him. I just don't have I don't have and. I know that's probably just what you're a really strong word you're using. I think hate is just something that is just so destructive to me, and it doesn't hurt anybody that I hate actually.
So if Trump were drowning, would you throw him a saver or a glass of water?
I would throw him some swimmies anyway. I mean, we've had this conversation because I'm so anti-Trump and it pain burn. And all my friends down there, they cornered me one night and asked me, would I go in and save him if I knew that I would not get injured doing it in a fire or something. And yeah, I would. I mean, I would probably do it just so I could just tell him how you know, how much he owes me for the rest of his life for saving his sorry ass. But yeah,
Well, I'd jump in the water and help
maybe-
him out of the
maybe-
water, but I would not give him a kidney.
Maybe get a slice of that 1.7 billion he's just given himself.
yes, there you go. I
As
would
a
not give him a
settlement.
kidney either, Scott. I wouldn't give him a
as a-
toenail.
as a settlement for suing himself.
Yes, I know. That's one of the reasons why I despise him so much, just because of all the crazy stuff that he makes other people do that they just go along with. But
Now, if he looked up in the sky and said the sky is blue, I would go outside and double check it. So there's just all sorts of things about Trump that I would do differently than I do with other people.
I'd give Trump a wig, Nerdy said. Way to go, Nerdy. He'd look good in like what Animal, the Animal wig. Remember Animal on the Muppets?
Tease it out a little bit. Some of that Aquanet that he loves so much. 17. Why do you mock and scoff at Christians? Again, well, it's
I hate that scoff word.
you want to know why? You want to know why? This is why.
Just sit right back and you'll hear the tale of a righteous float that started out in ancient times upon a magic zoo boat. The rain began to pour like mad. God's judgment didn't stall. If not for Noah's floating crate, there'd be no life at all. No life at all. No life at all. If Noah and his ancient beard, his wife just rolled her eyes. They boarded raptors, stegosaurs too, all trained to sit and stay. 2 T-Rexes in bunk bed stalls, what could go wrong, we say? 3 sons with wives who taught the dinos how to harmonize. Who taught the dinos how to harmonize? There's gators, frogs, and woolly mammoths, zebras sharing beds, triceratops and kangaroos stacked 10 high on their heads. The ark was built with cubic math and doors that sealed with prayer. You ask about sanitation, don't go there. Just don't go there. Just don't go there. So come aboard this sacred ship where science hits a wall. With creatures from all continents, pre-flood we had them all. The timeline's tight, the logic light, the rain began to float. And now you're on a bumpy ride aboard the magic zoo boat. The magic zoo boat. The magic zoo boat. The magic zoo boat. Unicorns dashed to catch the ark, but tripped on fairy tales. They stopped to charm the woodland elves and slipped through magic veils. Their horns aglow, they missed the boat, no place for their parade. Now stuck in myths and bedtime dreams where fantasy should stay. Where fantasy should stay. But what about old Sasquatch? Did Bigfoot make the trip? Was he too hairy, tall, or shy to board that wooden ship? He maybe hid behind the trees or snuck in with the apes, or rode the flood out on a log. Or rode the flood out on a log. Don't fall for tales of magic boats or creatures 2 by 2. Get smart, ask questions, that's the best thing you can do. Education shines the light that clears the myths away. So keep your mind wide open and learn what's true today. Learn what's true today. Learn what's true today. Hey, with Skipper Noah at the wheel and wife supreme with nerves of steel. 3 sons with zero sail and flare. Their wives who brought salon braid hair. 2 rhinos juggling on the deck and Bigfoot hiding near the wreck. Here on the magic zoo boat. Here on the magic zoo boat. Here on the magic zoo boat.
Okay. Now you want me to take something about the magic zoo boat seriously? I can't do it.
Dave, I think now is the opportune time to explain to people how they can access the Magic Zoo Boat emoji.
Yeah, you hit the join button and you just have a magic zoo boat emoji, right?
And we
Yeah,
should keep
somebody
in
asked a
mind,
question about that.
we should
Yeah.
point out and keep in mind that it's not just the creationist Christians who believe absurd, ridiculous things. All Christians believe that a virgin gave birth, that people got up out of their graves and walked around after being dead for many years. And that is just the appropriate reaction to such a claim is to scoff at it, is to mock it, is to recognize that the person who is making that claim obviously has difficulty making the distinction between fiction and reality.
I'm a little different there. I think there is a place for mockery and scoffing and ridicule, and that's when you're facing somebody who refuses to engage openly in a good faith dialogue, right? So if they're not going to engage in a good faith dialogue, and they continually make claims or insults, use ad homs, obfuscate, and if they continually do that, there's some time for ridicule to come in, and a time for mockery, because obviously if they're not willing to engage, then you've got no other tools, right? If they're not willing to listen to the words you're saying, then by all means just ridicule away, and maybe that'll shock them into at least opening up a little bit to understanding that you have some points to make and that you're not just making shit up, which is the common complaint, right? It's the common thing that Christians will say when they want to be in bad faith. They'll just say, right, well, I'm just going to keep doing an external critique on your worldview, and you can't disprove that because it's not, well, you can't disprove it because it's not in your worldview, so it's no claim I'm making, right? If you want to criticize my worldview, you have to do an internal critique. It's that simple, right? And I do the same for Christianity. That's why I use the logical problem of evil or the evidential problem of evil, whichever I feel is appropriate. That's because those are internal critiques of Christianity. They're not external critiques. If I were to start judging you by atheist standards, believe you me, all of your arguments would go the same way as a dodo. But I don't do that because I try and argue in good faith.
Hello, Ryan. How you doing? So why do you mock and scoff at Christians? Well, a lot of these questions are directed at, these arguments that go back and forth on the internet too. They're not general things that happen in everyday life either. So I think they're definitely picking and choosing. Why do you, mock and scoff at a Christian argument? Well, it's probably a silly argument or a bad argument, and you hit different people at different times of the day, and they just don't want to deal with it, right? And they're going to give you a snarky answer. So, better arguments. Really, that's the best thing you can have is a better argument.
Hey Scott, how are you
I'm not
today?
copying again.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was responding to something on the side chat. That word scoff, by the way, is that an onomatopoeia? Is it based on people
I
doing
don't know actually. I don't think it is, but let's look it up.
No, I think it's just a standard verb.
Let's say hi to deconverted man.
Hey, deconverted man.
Okay, I'll stop.
What's going on?
Converted man?
Yep.
Blowing up all over the place. How you doing, DM?
Hey, I got to take care of the dog. I'll be back in a minute.
Always good to see you. Take care of the woofer. All right.
Okay.
Why do you mock and scoff at Christians? Again, somebody poses a silly argument and somebody mocked and scoffed at it. Well, it's a two-way street, right? You put out your thing and they put out their thing. I mean,
Scoff is such a I don't know what century that was used in, but Like,
Like say mid 14th century here.
yeah. So like, like that sounds like I'm kicking like my shoes against the ground or something, scuffing
It
or whatever. I don't
kind
know.
of
But
means it could be connected Proto-German scuff, meaning to push or shove, suggesting a connection to shoving someone around verbally, or it could be from scoff, which is Danish, which I think is more likely, which means derision.
it just really sounds like somebody is really sensitive when they accuse you of scoffing. You know, they like, yes.
Yeah, scoff originally one F in Danish, just meaning
And we
derision.
scoff at God, like you're God, and like, but then that makes that's what, like, even if we just mock God, it makes Christians mad because somehow they don't think that their all powerful supreme being can actually defend itself.
Roots, dialectical scaff or scoff, a quarter of the day or meal. Interesting. I think it's more likely to be Danish because, like, there's a lot of Frisian in English, and I think that's basically from the similar area. So, yeah.
Well, essentially, it looks like you're saying when you say scoff, it's pretty much the same as mock or jest.
Yes.
This got
right.
cut off a little bit. Sorry about that. But are you aware that you are fulfilling biblical
derision.
prophecy? I don't believe in prophecy.
Wars and rumors of wars and
Yeah.
I
what you pull out of the
prophesize.
Bible.
I prophesize that tomorrow it's going to be between negative 273 degrees Celsius and 500 million degrees Celsius. I'm never wrong, dude.
Yeah,
my prophecies are amazing. It's almost like if you prophesize something incredibly mundane, like people are going to make fun of our dumb ideas, your prophecy is almost guaranteed to be right. It's like,
the only
go ahead,
time I
Robin.
see people fulfilling biblical prophecy is when they're intentionally doing it. Like we have people right now who are trying to, do things in Jerusalem with the temple, because they think it's going to bring Jesus back. And I've noticed that they're even bombing Tyre, the city in Jordan, which they never, in the Bible says would be destroyed, that they never did destroy. So maybe they're trying to just go ahead and finish that so they can finally be done with that prophecy. That, when you are, it's not prophecy when you're actively working to bring it about.
That too.
Yeah, and also, like, as if people weren't mocking Christianity when this was written.
Yeah,
I mean, it can't have been an unheard of thing. So, I think it's like saying, "Oh, look, what are you going to breathe air? Are you?" And in the later days, people will be breathing air. What's the boring prophet one?
Not a good argument to use with me. I would say.
The boring prophet one is, "And it shall come to pass that he shall lose something."
Yeah.
And he will not know where it is.
Thanks for nothing.
Yeah, thanks for the definition.
Why do you want to stop people from believing in God?
No, this is interesting. This is a good question here. Personally, it's not that I want to stop people believing in God. That's not the reason. I just want to. I want people to consider reason. Consider reason more than they consider being attached to a belief. Again, it comes down to having an open mind. If you're prepared to reconsider what any belief that you have is and the reasons, you want to investigate the reasons for that belief. If you keep coming back to the same conclusion that it's God, that's okay. for some people, it's better that they believe in God than they go out and kill people, right? And I don't want those people to sit there and go, oh, actually, there's no God, and I may as well just go and kill people, right? Psychopaths, for instance, or if you think that you have a particularly bad drinking problem, and you think, well, actually, yeah, they've told me if I believe in God, I might be able to get over this. Go and believe in God. Get over your drinking problem, because you're not doing anybody, your family, or the people around you any good by being an alcoholic. Same with drugs, right? And if God is a means by which you can get over those problems, then do so. And maybe in time you'll get over that you'll get over the issue of believing in God. But in the meantime, don't. And I always quote David Wood as being the person who I don't want to become an atheist.
Yes,
Right.
I agree
He's
with
a
that.
he's a psychopath that killed his father with a hammer.
No, he didn't
That's-
kill him. It didn't kill him.
It didn't kill him.
His dad
Just knocked him
survived.
around. Just knocked him around real good.
Yeah, his dad survived, but yeah, he needs to stay believing. Dave, go back and highlight Nerdy's question, because Nerdy asked the best question out that we've had all night long. It was better than any of the questions that they've asked us.
That one.
Yep. Why do Christians not believe in atheism?
Yeah, it's a good question.
It is.
Doesn't exist. Yeah.
Because they fear it.
But yeah, it's the other side or whatever. Of course, the fear factor kicks in.
I think it's because they want to be main characters in the celestial drama. That's more exciting to them than the prospect of being an organism that evolved from millions of years of evolution. I personally think that's way cooler than being basically a meat finger puppet that God's playing with for a couple of years. But they get into the celestial drama thing, so I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah,
and of course childhood indoctrination.
And churches are part of cultures and stuff, and it's just it's waning, and then things are more moderate and relaxed, and but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere fast enough or anything. It's just the ones that are a lot more casual. So we'll see what direction it goes in. It's going to be a slow process, and the realist in me, you just can't snap your fingers, and people are not going to believe overnight. It's just unrealistic for those expectations.
Even if I could, like if somebody asked me a long time ago, shout out to Holy Speckle, if there was a red button, if there was a button that you could push to make everybody an atheist, would you push it? Yeah, and I just said no, of course not. You have to come to atheism the same way you come to many deep-seated beliefs, right? Which is through reason and experience. And without those, you shouldn't be an atheist. You shouldn't be a Christian. You shouldn't be a Buddhist. You shouldn't be any of those things.
Deconverted man dropping through. It's always good to see you, Deconverted man.
I would like people to stop believing in God. Like Simos said, I probably wouldn't push a button and make everybody an atheist because I believe in freedom. But I would like people to stop believing in God because the trend I've noticed is that it tends to make them not give a fuck about the life we currently have, about the universe they currently exist in. They get more invested in this follow-up life, in this spirit realm that they think they're going to go to, and it makes them do things like not bother getting educated, not spend time with their family, not get curious and investigate reality and learn advance human knowledge. They just say, oh well, I'll spend time with my daughter in the afterlife. I'll spend time with my friends in the afterlife. I'll do this and that. This and that doesn't matter because the afterlife, and that shit sucks. And so on that grounds, I would like some people to stop believing in God. If you're capable of believing in God and not fucking up the one life you know you actually get, then sure, keep believing in God. But for a lot of people, it tends to lead to them fucking up the one life they actually get. And for others, it's even worse. It gets to the point where they start pushing misinformation. They get addicted to conspiracy theories. They become really pompous and arrogant and try to control other people's beliefs and make them believe in their God. There's a lot of reasons why I would like people to stop believing in God, but most of it isn't actually the belief in God. It's all the shit that comes with it.
Right. Indeed. $20. How about number 20? Why do you give Muslims a pass?
Look, can we just give? Yeah, I don't. Let's just end of story. I don't give Muslims a pass.
No, I think Islam is just as dumb as Christianity. In fact, it has a few extra dumb steps with it. So yeah, I just don't know very many Muslims, and the few that I do know actually don't harass me for being an atheist for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
The theists that mind fucked me into being a science denier when I was a kid, they weren't Muslims. They were Christians. Okay. Are Muslims doing that to their kids in other parts of the world? Hell yeah. And so fuck those Muslims for sure.
Why do you pretend to have all the answers? Is question 21. Once again, I could be wrong. We all could be wrong.
This guy projects
it's a
enough.
Possibility.
This guy projects enough to open a drive-in movie theater. Good Lord.
I have a problem.
But the overwhelming evidence leads you in a certain direction, and that's where we tend to put our stakes in, so to speak. The overwhelming evidence. So it's the 21st century. I mean, you know.
Mr. Sean O'Connor, like, I've been trying to be nice, but if I could press a button to make everyone here in chat a believer in God, I'd press it straight away. You know, like I would, like, you would take away our free will. And like I said, even if I believed in it, I'd like to think that I would not ever worship your immoral monster God. And thank you for saying that you don't care about my free will, even though we said we wouldn't do that to theists.
Yeah, look, that's his opinion, Robin. I mean,
I know, but
enjoy it. If he wants to press the button, good luck. It won't work, but good luck. The supernatural doesn't exist. It's a hypothetical, so
I know.
I don't really care, and that's your opinion. That just shows who you are. It doesn't show who we are, so that's fine. And I wouldn't expect much less if you're convinced that a God exists and that everybody's going to hell unless they believe. Then why wouldn't you press the button?
Besides, well, never mind. I just don't like just talking. I'm just talking about pressing a button, but you're not talking about what it means, Sean. I think you need to be less shallow than that.
Yeah, look, I think he's basing it on the premise that he knows God exists, and if God does exist, right? If God does exist, then I wouldn't be an atheist. So that's fine. Press the button.
I don't want to press the button, but if there was a certain amount of answering questions and explaining things to people and making the case for atheism that I could do that would make everybody an atheist, I for sure would do that. That's basically what I'm trying to do. I just can't do that because I don't have enough time and enough reach. But if I did, I would use the heck out of it, and I would be thrilled if I could convert everybody to being an atheist that way.
Yeah, but the question, the hypothetical is the other way around. So, yeah. I'm just pointing out that if it's true that God exists, then I don't mind someone pressing the button, because I wouldn't be an atheist if it was true.
Right. You're good, Simon.
Oh, it's
Okay.
all right.
May I answer why do you pretend to have all the answers?
Oh yes, please, Scott. Why do you have all the answers, Scott?
I do not pretend to have all the answers. I know that for a lot of questions,
What? No way. But you're an atheist.
I'm an atheist. I know I'm a hybrid, I guess.
So far, you've got 21 out of 21, Scott. I'm just saying.
but there are for just about every question that we struggle with in life, there is like a range of possible explanations and answers, and I try to consider all of them and assign probabilities to what the right answer might be. And in the question of does God exist, is Christianity true, the answer no falls on the most probable conclusion, because of all the evidence against supernaturalism, all the evidence for explanations about how the universe got here, how is it the way it is today, things like that. So no, I don't pretend to have all the answers. I actually have hundreds of hypothetical answers, and just to be true to myself, I try to choose the most likely answer based on the evidence, based on what seems like it's the right one. So I don't have all the answers. Probably got more answers than I care to deal with, because there's a lot of possibilities. But you just try to come up with the most probable answer to the questions that you're given.
So the chat was saying that.
Are your shoes? I can answer that question. Does God exist? Well, consider some of the options.
We made it into the 20s, and for a bunch of dummies on atheist questions.
Yeah. Sydney
we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, Sydney acted like it's the first time we ever made it to 20.
They were laying bets we were only going to do 4. So I mean.
Yeah, we struggle with 8 sometimes.
I think there's a key component to this that we haven't mentioned at all, and that's curiosity. I'm more curious than a theist in general. A theist thinks they get everything they need to know from reading their scripture. I think you have to read a lot more books than just the scripture. I think you do need to go out and investigate reality and collect data and do science. So because of that, I have a couple of more answers than a person who's less curious than me. But the number of answers I have is still dwarfed by the amount of questions, and that's the way I prefer it. I would rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. It's really simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hello, Deviant. How you doing?
And I would like that. I would rather just say I don't know. Like, I'm not afraid of saying that. And I would rather admit to not knowing than to just make up an answer or believe a made up answer. Because, I mean, like, if your answer is just something that somebody made up, then, it's not an answer. It's just I don't know what you call it, but it's not an answer.
It's just what you want to hear. Right.
Yeah, like a creationist theist.
Hang on a minute. That's a good point, Deviant. That's a good point, Deviant Outcast just made. There'd be no need for a button on the Christian worldview.
You would just know it.
Already do
right.
that, yeah.
Yeah. A creationist theist reads the Bible or they read the Quran and they go, "Oh, that's how it happened. God waved his magic wand and he created everything, and then Noah flooded everything." They're not going to know anything about natural selection through reading that. They're not going to know anything about ecology. They're not going to know anything about any field of life science or paleoscience or geography or geology. That's the difference. That's why you get more answers by rejecting the dogmatic worldview, because it makes you curious. It means you have to go out and investigate. It just seems really simple to me. I don't know.
By the way, I did miss that word "pretend" in the question because I was thinking,
right.
I don't think I pretend to have all the answers, so I don't. Not guilty.
Yeah, anytime there's a God of the gaps, I usually say that I don't know. If there's a scientific gap, I just don't know, right? And more than that, there's a lot of science I don't know about. So I just claim ignorance on all of that stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that I've been in this community now for, I don't know, God knows how many years. I'd hate to say.
It's some tired old arguments.
As a result, there are probably none of these 100 questions that I haven't already seen and tried to answer in some way.
Right.
Some way.
To be clear, it's not the whole 6,000 years that the Earth has existed, has it been? Not that old, are you?
I don't know.
Simos.
Sorry, what was that?
I said it's not the entire 6,000 years that the Earth has existed, is it?
Oh, no. No. I'm not as old as Mike. It's just I was at school with Darwin, though.
Yes. You dated his cousin, too? Did you date his cousin, too?
No. I went out with his sister.
Oh,
was he as obsessed with Beatles as all the rumors would lead me to believe?
Mike ducked in. I don't know if he was on his phone or what. He did duck on, so maybe listening.
No, funnily enough, he didn't. He preferred the Stones to the Beatles.
Good one.
Okay, 22. Let's get there. I love the music.
Why do you claim to be skeptical when you are unwilling to change your mind? Willing to change my mind.
It's just false.
Oh, that's wrong.
It's false. I'm
everybody willing to change your mind?
I've changed my mind several times in my life. Multiple.
It's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I have a new girlfriend, I've changed my mind.
I don't claim to just be skeptical. I'm also an empiricist and a rationalist. So I don't think it's rational to take gaps in our knowledge and say a fictional character generated by humans in prehistory because they had burning questions and no better methods to provide real answers to those questions. I don't think that's rational. I don't think it's rational to say that a fictional character that prehistoric humans made up is the reason life exists. Okay, so your question it needlessly simplifies my real philosophy and narrows it down to a single facet when it's actually extremely multifaceted. So your problem is not just the fact that I'm skeptical, it's also the fact that I'm a rationalist and an empiricist, and you for sure can't satisfy either of those epistemological values with anything that supports God.
Yeah, if you don't approach issues and questions with how do we know that's true? Is this really, is this true? How do we know this? Which is what it means to be skeptical. Then what are you doing, Christian? I see a lot of people do kind of what I guess what they call thought stopping. Like we ask questions of them and they go, because the Bible says, blah, 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 and they'll give us a scripture. Well, how do you know that scripture is true? It's God's word. Would you be willing to change your mind about that if given certain facts? No. Well, okay. I don't think I want to be that kind of person. I want to be a person who can ask, how do I know this is true? What evidence is there? And be able to answer that, or at least go, I don't know. I am deliberately not going to pursue this, but I'm going to believe it anyway, and just put it all out there. I don't want to be putting my head in the sand like an ostrich or something like that.
So no,
Deviant said that these questions don't seem to be based on a particularly well-informed basis or something.
Well, I think
they're pretty
badly,
bad.
Yeah, I think they're badly worded questions.
It is very obvious that this is pure.
Okay.
This is pure rhetoric.
He's trying to write 100 of them. So
it's pretty obvious that this is pure rhetoric. These questions are not really being asked with curiosity. They're being asked because this person has been trained by a religious apologist to think these are real scathing gotchas. They really don't think we can answer these questions, and they're not interested in actually hearing the answers that we will give. They think God answers all these questions.
You're looking for too much. You're looking for too much, Austin.
Well, I think that's true, but also they're quite ill-defined in some ways, right? What do you mean unwilling to change your mind?
Yeah.
Right. Well, no. If I found something to be very reasonable and have overwhelming evidence, it's going to take a lot of evidence, overwhelming evidence, to get me to change my mind. That doesn't mean I'm unwilling, right? So the word unwilling is just begging the question against skepticism, I think, and that makes it an illogical question.
Right. This question is meant to make it look like atheists are stubborn. The previous question was meant to make it look like atheists are mean or they're bullies. These are all just like classic apologist rhetoric.
Yeah, incoherences. I'd go stronger than rhetoric, but they're actually incoherent. But anyway,
Sean O'Connor, ask your question, and we'll put it on the screen.
I think we've answered a bunch of his questions. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a chat with him tomorrow. So, yeah, the evidence has always been presented to me the second I was born. I'm glad for you, Sean. We definitely hash all this stuff out, but that's just a claim. You're not telling me what the evidence is, and that's what we're asking for. Anyway, moving on.
Rocky said we haven't decided what gender God may be according to the liberals. God definitely would be no gender, like no gender. So yeah. So
okay, so I think this one is definitely for Austin here. Austin, why do you go after Christian museums? They're only trying to tell the truth.
Oh my goodness.
That question is so loaded. Oh my gosh. No, they're not trying to tell the truth. They're doing quite the opposite, actually. What they're really trying to do is create a schema in the believer's mind where all evidence that contradicts their interpretation of Scripture is dismissed before the theist allows themselves to gain awareness of it. What they're really doing is they are coaching and training theists to ignore, deny, distort, discard, reject any evidence that contradicts their current worldview. So no, it's a complete inversion of reality to say that they are just trying to tell the truth. They are science-phobic, science-denying fuckwits. It couldn't be farther from reality to say they're just trying to tell the truth. They're attacking science because science is in conflict with their fantasy that says they are main characters in a celestial drama. Science says we are specks of dust in a massive universe that are basically inconsequential. 500 million years from now, we're all going to be long fucking dead, and every trace that we ever existed will likely be long gone. So they're trying to undermine that truth by attacking scientific facts. They're not trying to tell the truth. So that one,
they're stealing my tax money. They're stealing my tax money.
This one is easy to answer just by acknowledging that the question includes in it a statement of non-fact. So yeah, fuck that.
This is assuming Christian Museum. This is assuming Christian Museum is a science museum. You know, if Christians wanted to go have their own art museum, I would love to go to see that. You know, just see nothing but Christian art, maybe by contemporary Christian artists or classical kind of Christian art. Sure, that museum is trying to tell the truth, but it's a different kind of truth than a science museum, which if they are trying to tell the truth, then they would appreciate scientists correcting their facts and showing that their conclusions do not follow. So that assumes all Christian.
Honestly, I think the main point of the Art Museum and the Creation Museum and the Creationist movement itself in general is to deny science so that people stop freaking the fuck out about global warming and climate change.
Yeah.
And the ruling class gets to drain the rest of the resources from the planet. They get to keep making immense profits at the expense of biodiversity and a stable ecology that we all depend on for survival. And their goal is to have the means to fuck off to another planet by the time the consequences for that are bearing down on us, which is we're getting close to that time. And yeah, so why do I go after them? Because they're basically trying to destroy the fucking world, or they're trying to clear the road for the people that are trying to destroy the fucking world. So, real loaded question.
Robin had to duck off. She sent me a message. Thanks for
Now,
stopping
Robert's
by,
on
Robin.
at 7. He
Yeah.
yeah. So
Thanks,
yeah,
Robin.
I was just
See you
gonna
later.
yeah, Robin. Thanks for joining us. I was just about to call Christian museums misinformation mills, because that's what it is, misinformation.
Absolutely.
And it's trying to and that's a big disservice, because when you have your science wrong, lots of things go wrong in the world. And
Thanks for being here, Robin. We know you got to go.
Love you, Robin.
Oh, for some reason, something just kicked me out. That's what I was going to say. Thank you, Dave. When Dave's done, but not before Dave's done, everybody come over to Neil's 604 Atheist. I'm going to post it, the link in chat. Robert from Skeptic Philosophy is going to be over there doing his deconversion story, which he's a former pastor too. So that should be very interesting, and it's a good time over at Neil's. So after Dave's over, come join us over there.
Thank you, Robin.
Love y'all.
You too.
See you soon. One other thing on this one. This is a real easy reason to go after Christian museums, especially the Ark Encounter. The Ark Encounter is spreading fucking measles.
Right.
People are getting measles from going to the Ark Encounter because the Ark Encounter is a place that attracts people who are anti-science, and anti-science people don't get vaccinated. So you go there, you get measles. If you have measles because you're not vaccinated, you give measles to other people that aren't there because they're not vaccinated, because they're anti-science. And this literally happened. This is not a hypothetical. This is not a metaphor. The fucking Ark Encounter Museum spread measles. So that's an easy reason to go after it.
Yeah. Simple enough.
Are you pro-disease? Are you anti-disease?
When the sea was going around and they were all worried about it, well, we're not coming if we have to wear a mask, and on and on and on. And well, it's very clear where you stand. You just don't care. So why you go after Christian museums? I just, that's a loaded question. Why don't I support Ken Ham? Bah! You know, why don't I support Hawaiian Shirt Guy? You got to be kidding me. These grifters make enough money as it is. I don't think their idea of the truth is very questionable.
Yep, I love being a thorn in their side, and I will not be shamed for it. So you're really barking up the wrong tree in the wrong forest with this one. Fuck anti-science bullshit. Fuck it to death.
Let's try to hit 25.
We're going for 25.
Yeah, we're doing
Look
great.
out, folks. Look out.
Can I get to 24?
Freaking world record right here.
So Simon's left?
Oh,
there he is.
No,
Okay.
I'm back. Just stopping to get some food. I'm going to stay off cam while I'm eating.
I can claim to be an agnostic and atheist at the same time, because agnosticism has to do with knowledge, with epistemology, and atheism has to do with what you believe. So right now I have no belief that a God exists, but I don't know for sure. There could be a God, so there could be some body of knowledge out there that would make me think, okay, there is a God, and so that makes me an agnostic. I don't believe you can know there's a God for sure, but maybe out there somewhere there is some evidence for a God. So I'm both agnostic and atheist at the same time. It's kind of a loose definition of those because I haven't studied philosophy, and I don't know that I would be doing anybody's life any good if I gave a true to definition account of agnostic or atheist. But that's how, because as far as knowledge, we don't know that there's a God or not. As far as belief, I do not believe in a God.
No, you're precisely right, Scott. This is like day one baby atheist stuff. You can map this to a Cartesian coordinate system, and there'll be two separate axes. On one axis, you have atheist versus theist. The atheist doesn't think gods exist. The theist does. And then on the other axis, you have Gnostic versus agnostic. A Gnostic theist claims to know that God exists. A Gnostic atheist claims to know that God doesn't exist. And an agnostic theist thinks God exists but doesn't claim to know God exists. And an agnostic atheist doesn't think God exists but doesn't claim to know that God doesn't exist. This is very simple. And one thing you'll notice is that there's not a lot of Gnostic atheists. Most atheists are going to be agnostic precisely because we don't claim to have all the answers like you asked in your previous question. There are some Gnostic atheists for sure. But yeah, sorry, Simos, you were like going crazy. You're a Gnostic atheist, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the definition. That's my answer to this question. What do you mean by God? I used to say, this is my joke. I said this in a debate one time. It cracked me up. But I said, look, if you want to explain God as some supernatural being that created the universe and has agency, and has prescriptive like morals which we should all apply to, I'm an atheist. I'm a Gnostic atheist. I don't think that thing exists in any shape or form. There's no evidence, not just no evidence for it, there's positively evidence against it. So I just think that that's a ridiculous claim to make. However, if you want to describe God as like somebody who is my height with long hair, incredibly good looking, with a very big schlong, then I'm a believer. Oh yeah, I'm a believer in that God, especially if they're called Simos. 100%. I take all three positions.
I'm a Gnostic atheist to that God because everybody who has a massive cock, people who don't have a massive cock think having a massive cock is a blessing, but it's really more of a curse. You're always slamming it in doors and stepping on it and leaving it on the bus. Come back, you've got my penis.
Yeah,
Simos,
catch it in the zip.
Simos, you catch the. We got a captive desk membership from Jasper.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, let me just... No, I don't.
Yeah, you made a good point there, Simos, which is that when it comes to Jesus, I'm a Gnostic atheist. When it comes to Yahweh, I'm a Gnostic atheist. When it comes to Thor, Odin, Ereshkigal, Horus, Mithra, Zoroaster, I'm a Gnostic atheist. When it comes to like some Spinoza's God concept or some deist concept, I'm more agnostic about that. I don't think you can disprove Spinoza's God. But any like formulated deity claim that's specific, any deity claim that claims that deity is essentially a bipedal type thing with God powers, that those claims I'm Gnostic atheist to because they're logical impossibilities. But like Spinoza's God, a deist God, yeah, I'm more agnostic atheist on those claims.
Well, just for Jasper, we gotta tell me that he rocks.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the sky, to the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Oh, thank you, Jasper, for the captive desk membership.
And that was given to GeForce 2863. Thank you very much.
There you go.
That's been...
So feel
I
free
understood what
to
you mean
use
now. When you said it's for you, I thought, oh, someone's given me one. But no.
We like the announcer. Yeah,
So that's
Jasper
anyway.
dropping the foots. All right. Anybody else? Yeah, drop those emojis. That's what they're there for. They're there for everybody to have fun while we're chatting away. What's that, Scott?
So let's do 25 quick so we can say we got through 25 of them.
Yeah, we're going to do 25. Okay, so
8 minutes left. 8 minutes left, Dave.
you know,
I think we
wrap
deserve
up
some
on-
kind of award for getting through 1/4 of these questions.
The odds were like 4 and 6.
Right.
So, you know, we did really good. It's been 3
We beat the
hours.
spread.
So we'll wrap it up on number 25. And we can always pick it up again if we want to. This is just for fun. These questions weren't serious thinkers or anything.
Oh, this is
I
a
think
good
this
question.
one's really easy. It's because something called impaired reality testing exists. People have an ability to perceive a reality which is utterly unreal, and that makes their personal experiences unreliable. Classic example is witness testimony in criminal cases. I know of tons of cases where people have been wrongfully convicted and then exonerated because a witness testimony turned out to be unreliable or in contradistinction to the actual fact. So, for instance, there was a case where a person was convicted of murder in a drive-by shooting on eyewitness testimony. Several eyewitnesses claimed to have seen the defendant inside of his vehicle, and that the person was the person who shot and killed the murder victim. He was exonerated because a forensic scientist showed that those who provided that testimony, those witnesses, couldn't have possibly seen the person's face because there was a shadow cloud that made it so you couldn't have seen inside the vehicle even if you were standing right next to it, which of course none of them were. They were standing far, like 30 yards away on the sidewalk. So because that witness testimony wasn't reliable, a person got wrongfully convicted of murder. And that happened because human perception doesn't work the way you think it does. You think the human eyeball and the human brain works like a video camcorder where it objectively records an objective fact and then you play it back and it's the same thing every time. It really works more like a Wikipedia article, which means you can go in and edit it, but so can other people. And it also works in the way that you see what you expect to see over what you actually see as frequently as you see what is actually happening. So you expect to see something, your brain fills it in. It's a composite of input. So it's not like this objective experience that people think it is. It's very subjective. And that's why we need things like science, why we need things like math, why we need things like ontology and philosophy and epistemology and a map, why we need things like the concept of the terrain, our filter, and the map we use to understand the terrain, that we don't have perfect access to the terrain. So that's why I reject people's personal experiences, because they're not very high quality evidence, actually. And I think just about every jurisprudence system in the world would agree with me on that.
Yeah, for sure. And also, just to say that makes hearsay evidence even less convincing. But
Yeah, I don't understand why they're using the word reject people's personal experiences. Do they mean as an argument that I should believe what they're claiming? I mean, I reject the claim like God exists because you got a special message or found your car keys or something like that. That's not an argument for me to conclude true or false about. That's you've got your experience. There's multiple explanations for that experience, but I'm not obligated to accept your explanation of your experience as that, as an explanation for me to believe what you believe. You know what I mean? Your personal experience is fine, but I don't have to regard it as something that I should follow through with or I should take action on.
Yeah, for sure. It's evidence. It's just dog shit evidence. It's just really bad evidence.
Yeah, I mean, philosophically speaking, okay. Look, virtually all experiences are personal, right? So all knowledge in that sense comes from personal experience. I would say that. I'm an empiricist, so of course that's what I think. But whether you reject people's experiences based upon your own personal experience, and then also the things that we've found to be reasonable, which are in common with other people.
Yes.
That's why science works, because science doesn't rely on personal experience. It tries to isolate the variable of personal experience and expunge it as much as possible. That's why they say physics in this country works exactly the same as physics in the sub-Saharan continent, or in India or America or wherever. Why? Because we're literally not trying to bind ourselves to our personal experience. On the other hand, it's also true, if I take this question a little less seriously than as it's personally intended, right? The reason I reject people's personal experience and revelation of God is because it's necessarily personal experience. It doesn't have these objective measures by which we can measure, quantify, or qualify what the experience actually is. It's necessarily first person, and that means I have no access to it. And if I have no access to it, I have no reason to believe that it's necessarily correct, unless it's backed up by some independent verification, or the claim is so trivial that it's not worth my time to reject it. Right? I may as well just say, if someone says to me, like whatever, I've got a dog, I'm just going to go, oh yeah, okay, that's great, you're a dog lover, that's fine, because it matters little to me the consequence of it. So again, this comes down to expectations, right? If you have exceptional claims require exceptional evidence or something, it's not even that word. It's not exceptional. There's another word. So there's two parts to this. It's firstly, we don't reject people's experience because necessarily personal experiences are what give us our knowledge, and so virtually everything is some kind of personal experience. But there are, as I say, a priori reasons as to why you should accept people's personal experience, even if you don't have access to them directly through the experience. You can have access to them by testing the same claims in the real world yourself and finding out that they're true or false. And then secondly, the point is that when people claim to have experiences which are unfalsifiable, then they have to unless they're trivial, they have to have a very high standard of evidence brought with them, and that isn't personal experience. So that's why I reject personal experiences like that.
You make an excellent and extremely germane point in that the nature of the personal experience being claimed is a massively important variable. If somebody's claiming to have a personal experience that when you put burette solution on something that contains proteins, it changes color. Like, I can repeat that. I can test that. I have priors. That's something reasonable. Like, that is a claim that I'm likely to accept. Your personal experience, that's easy to believe in that case. Or if you say, if you report a personal experience of having tied your shoes this morning, I can look down and see your shoes are on and that they're tied. And so I have some reasons to believe that. If you're claiming a personal experience of an invisible cosmic space dragon that can do magic and can poop ice cream that lives in your garage, but only you can see him, that's a claimed personal experience that I'm not likely to accept, because you're claiming something very extreme, something I can't observe, something I can't repeat. You know, there's the nature of the personal experience being claimed is of paramount importance. So I'm not likely to reject somebody's personal experience if they say, "Oh, I had a tummy ache this morning." I'm not going to go, "What's the evidence you had a tummy ache this morning?" Like, no, your personal experience is evidence you had a tummy ache this morning. If your personal experience is that you had a near-death experience and an angel named Melchizedek came and like greeted you, that's different. So yeah, the nature of the claim matters a lot.
Intensely, yeah, absolutely. And again, why was the scientific method developed? Because people realised that personal experience was not a good way to find out about the objective world. You know, too many claims pre-science, basically, and many of them have been dropped. Right. And many scientific views have changed over the years for this exact reason, because actually it turned out that people just didn't have enough knowledge or enough evidence or enough objective evidence from the real world to give them the right steer, right? Including people like Newton.
Yeah, it's like I said, this list was for fun. We want to revisit it sometime when we did 25.
That was it was really good to end on that question 25 as well, because I think that is probably the most germane reason as to why most of us become atheists.
Yeah, true. It's gone around. I just thought we'd address it. We got 25 of them. That's pretty good.
I'm very proud of us.
That's really good for us. Some said we'd only get through 4. So I think we did pretty good. A lot of the questions are silly. You know, why don't you believe in God or something like that? Well, you're asking
why
an
do you
atheist,
hate God?
you know.
Why do you hate God? That's the funniest one.
You know,
I every time I hear that question, I go, oh, really?
Yeah, if you're going to direct it at atheists, I mean, there's already assumptions made that they don't believe in God, so they aren't going to hate God, and they aren't going to blame God, and on and on and on and on, and you can eliminate a lot of the questions, but they don't do that on purpose. To be annoying, I guess. I don't know. Could be. So, yeah, a lot of the questions are similar, as Simos was saying. He predicted a lot of them would be similar. A lot of them are, why do you hate God and stuff. Well, you're asking atheists, it's just pure silliness. I noticed it's been out for a certain amount of years, and some other channels have covered it, and I thought that they were pretty funny, and so, take a little jab at it, have a little fun with it. They're really poorly asked questions. A lot of them are worthless. We could have cut the list down a lot, and maybe got through 100 if we cut the garbage out. So
I think this was quite fun, actually. I really enjoyed it. So thank you so much, Dave.
Yeah.
Can I finish up here and say a few things?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm just speeding things up a little bit, if you might notice. Which is just to say, my channel, obviously Simos Funk. Somebody put the link in there. I haven't seen. Anyway, I haven't seen them, but I haven't seen Tilting Windmill for a little while. I hope Tilting Windmill's okay. All the blessings go to her.
Dealing with something. I heard from him the other day.
But anyway, that's great. Secondly, I would just say, in fact, nobody is here to do it, but I will do it.
Links in the description.
Links in the description. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
that's an easier way to get it, isn't it? Let's put it that way. I see. Got that one. They got that link. Never mind. So I think also on Monday or tomorrow, 10:15 UK time, which is some ridiculous, stupid time of the night. I'm going to be talking with Sean O'Connor from our very own chat. So please, everybody, go and check that out.
What
It's going to
time?
be 10:15 UK time, which is probably like 5 o'clock in the morning your time or something.
If you set it up, I'll put it in my watch later because I do want to watch that.
Okay, yeah. I'm just about to put the. Oh no, I'm not. I've just done something terribly wrong. Okay, just give me a little while here. Sorry. Yeah. So, where was I? Yeah. So tomorrow that's at 10:15, and I'm just about to put the link to my channel in the chat when I can get to it. Right, I'll do that in a minute. In the meantime, also at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Monday night, which is more like 3 in the afternoon for you guys, roughly 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I will also be on with Fabio and Lucky doing the Canadian F1 Grand Prix from Montreal. So I'll be in Montreal tomorrow, which should be, on Monday I should say, which should be fun. Or tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow's the race. So everybody look out for that, and if you don't like Formula One, please just stop by, hit the like, and make sure you don't leave your mic open when you're hitting your keyboard.
Who would do such a thing?
That's another thing to do on Monday.
I know.
Thank
Scott.
you, you've got me. Thank you very much, Gio, I appreciate that. So yeah, please sub to my channel, just come by, drop a like, even if you don't like Formula One, and then you can vote off, and I'll be more than happy. I'll thank you all for that. As I say, Sean, looking forward to talking to you tomorrow, nice and early, and I want to say thanks to everybody on the panel. Thanks for everybody that's been here, and Mike, I miss you. Hope everything's good, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week. Dave, stay strong, brother. I know you can do it. Your mind is like an iron fist. And, yep. And so all my best goes with you, and I'll certainly be behind you and adding my momentum to anything you need to break down. So yeah, it's great to see you as always.
You too, and stay strong. And we'll see everybody next time. Is there anything going on over there at Answers in Atheism that you know about, Scott?
Not that I know about. A lot of good intentions. I think Mike has been enjoying learning about vertebrate evolution so much. He's been spending a lot of time doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's up in North Minnesota right now having fun with family and friends, and that's a great thing too. I hear that's a pretty area to be in. Nope, that's pretty much it.
And Austin, anything going on in your end of the world?
Hello and goodbye, everybody. I am Austin motherfucking Sims, aka the Animalian motherfucking Simi form. You can find me in any and all spaces where science denial is rearing its ugly head. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to be a thorn in their side. I'm going to annoy the shit out of them by citing the highly reliable data and the peer-reviewed corpus of primary scientific literature. But I need your help. I need you to tell me where it's happening, and then I will go and I will fuck it up. So if you see people denying evolution, if you see people saying the earth is fucking flat, if you see them denying vaccines, and you don't have the expertise to tell them how full of shit they are, hit me up. I'll come do it for you. I do take tips.
Thank you very much, Austin. Thanks, everybody, for joining tonight. Like we said, Mike was off with family, exploring the wilderness, as it were. He's got a lot to look at out there, right out his back door. It's beautiful part of the country. So hopefully he enjoyed himself, had some nice weather. Thanks, Gio, and everybody for dropping links. Everybody's all the panelists are in the description, and while you're in the description, there's also Joe's channel and about the ARC protest that he's heading up this July, as well as supporters of the channel and their merch, and the GoFundMe for Ember, as well as the link for the entire video, all in the description. And don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe and all that kind of stuff. 99 cents a month to join the channel, and you can spam emojis all you want. I love the emojis. Please post it away on the emojis. With that, who knows what next Saturday will bring.
Can I say
What's
one
that?
more thing, Dave, real quick? I think this is one more fun thing. Since I joined YouTube, I've been trying to come up with a punchy, catchy, cool sign-off phrase like what Mike has with his "Goodbye, Cruel World." And I think I finally got one. And maybe we can end the stream today with my new sign-off phrase that I came up with.
All right. No, I'm still going to hit my button, but...
All right. Okay. My catchy sign-off phrase is "fuck anti-science bullshit." Fuck it. Fuck anti-science bullshit.
Yeah, that may need a bit of work.
Do you think so? I thought it was great.
Probably.
But I know they get around, whispers float without a sound. History speaks in tales of lore, knocking at the captive next door. Legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive next door. Captive desk, hold our dreams, where reality and no myth seems. In conversations quiet flow, the mysteries untold will know. Legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive text. Nerves are wide, hearts are keen, pages turn to secret scene, ancient maps and hidden lore, knocking at the captive text door. Captive desk, hold our dreams, where reality and no myth seems. In conversations quiet flow, the mysteries untold.